What's up, y'all? Sorry we had a little technical difficulty, but welcome back to Gillette Tea Time. I got a lot of people here with me today, and today is Hump Day Wednesday. What y'all feel about Hump Day? I really, it's like I don't really know people understanding what Hump Day is, but I'm about to bring my people up, and hopefully they can help me out and tell me what Hump Day is. So I'm gonna bring my guests up, and let's see who's coming up first. Hey,
Hey.
how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Feeling great to be back for a second installment. How are you?
I'm here. I'm groovy. We had a little technical difficulty. You know me, as a Capricorn, I started panicking, child. I didn't know what was
Okay.
going on. I didn't know.
Look, it's okay. It's okay. It gets better with time. We have a great lineup tonight. Some great topics to discuss. So hey, I'm here for it.
I'm here for
It's Hump Wednesday, and I'm the king of Hump Wednesdays.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into Hump. We're gonna get into what y'all feel like about Hump Day. But hold on, let me bring
All
up.
right.
Let me bring up Miss Sasha.
Hi.
Hello.
What's going on? Happy Hump Day.
Happy
Do the Humpty Hump. Do the Humpty Hump.
Hey. Yeah. So how you
How's
feeling on
everybody
this Hump
doing?
Day?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling fab. I love the pink theme that we chose today.
Yeah, we wear pink on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't wait for next week. So how's everybody been?
We've been groovy. We're gonna get into that a little moments there, but we got to bring up our other girls to see what was going on.
We sure do.
Let's bring up the one and only Miss Morgan.
Okay, Morgan.
Where's the pink?
Hey, Morgan.
I'm so sorry. I'm always muted. I'm gagging at myself. All the girls standing in the
Me and
line
Morgan
for the
decided to
Hump
break the
Day.
rule in camaraderie and wear like these earth tones.
Oh, so
Yeah,
y'all
it's to be earthy, and I like to do, two in the pink and two in the stink,
doing the pink and doing this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
How's your day?
It's a lovely day. It's Wednesday. It's always, fun getting wild on a Wednesday. So
It's Hump Day.
I don't really celebrate that.
Oh. So what does Hump
I
Day
like Wild Wednesday.
Oh.
Well, I'm glad you're celebrating the pink theme. I love the eyeshadow.
Oh, I see.
Thank you so much. You see me? I do like to follow rules occasionally.
Yes, bling
Well,
bling.
girls. Okay, well, girls, listen. I got us a lot of masculine energy in here with us today since it's Hump Day. We're very feminist over here. We pro, but I brought us some male energy in, and I have us a very special guest. He actually have a ball coming up, and he's like legendary. He's like the first of his kind to be deemed for his category. He's like the first to have his own record label, sweetheart, and we're honoring him today in pink. So we wear pink on Wednesdays anyway, but Pink Gorilla's very own CEO, he's our guest host today. Bugs, over to you.
What's good? What's up?
Yes, welcome to the tea table. You have your live.
Thanks for having me.
You got a mug, y'all.
Okay.
Gentlemen. What is everyone's mug given today?
My vodka super game.
Oh, super game.
Come on, Barbara.
Okay. Well, I have Capricorn today. My sign. What you got, Gunna?
Mine says dream.
All right. Sasha, what you designed us up today?
I designed Chanel today.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, what you giving?
You know me, just Mrs. Always Right. Gotta be.
And what you giving, Mr. Pink?
My mug is from a festival that I did earlier. They sent this to me for being a part of it at the beginning of the year.
Oh, so you be booked.
And busy.
Yeah, a little something.
All right. So we're gonna get the show started, whatever. We just had a ball that just passed, a Kiki ball that was in Trenton, New Jersey. Remember, I told you guys about Vogel Wing. But Old Navy is here to give you like a small recap of the ball. The $1,000 was given out. I was kind of in the mix with the Kiki Scene girls in their page, and they was like giving an uproar about the thousand, but you know how that gives. But Butter's here to clear it up and give who won and give a little bit of history about Trenton. So I'm gonna bring Butter up and let's see what they give. Hi Butter, welcome to Tea Time. Oh, you got some pink on? You muted, boo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right.
How was your ball?
All right. The ball was a success. Hi, everybody. First and foremost, that doesn't know me, I am Butter, Old Navy.
What's up?
I reside in New Jersey. The capital of New Jersey, Trenton, representing. The ball was a success. I tried it. I tried to have a ball on a Monday night because I didn't want to mess up anybody else's Halloween plans, and it kind of worked out well. Everyone, I'm getting pretty much good feedback. All the categories were called. All the cash people got their coin. And it was good.
So
it was a mishap.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's good. There was a little mishap. I don't really want to. We are spilling tea, but there was a mishap where some money went missing.
Did it get found?
Did it get found?
Yes, okay. And that's why the girls got good things. A couple things were missing, but it was all right. Everything was good. I usually have someone else holding my money, but it's all right. Things happen. Took my notes, lessons learned. I don't know everything, so I like to throw functions. So if you ever never come, please come to Trenton. We do have a good time. Next one is December 17th.
All right, so you've been doing your
Congratulations.
Okay, do your thing. Go ahead, brother. Do your thing.
I'm sorry. I got one more thing to say. You said talk about the winners. I just want to say congratulations to all the winners, especially to our $1,000 winners, Vixen and Lala Versace. The Versaces, they've been coming and carrying in Jersey recently. So shout out to the Versaces. I'm done.
Okay, so I was about to give you a break, some still am, but you've been doing your thing, holding it down for the Kiki Scene in New Jersey. Like, this is what, like your fourth ball or a ball that you've thrown out there in New Jersey. Like, it may be more, but you've been doing your thing. So like, you now giving out $1,000 and things, honey. That's cute.
I'm having fun. I want to catch up because I'm a little, I came in a little late, but I want to catch up and also give back at the same time while doing stuff. So, especially in my city where we don't really have much, the balls, doing those little events like that, it's bringing the children more and more, little by little. A couple of the trim kids actually walked, and I was like excited and shocked. So, I'm doing it for them, the up and comers.
Great.
That is nice, brother. We appreciate it. Shout out to Vixen and Lala for getting 1,000 at your ball. You know my feelings. Y'all try my tornado, but
yes, if we want to talk about it, we can talk about it.
Tornado is,
but I feel the same. I wanted the money to stay in Jersey. I did. I wanted the 1,000 to stay in Jersey. There's no secret there. I appreciate everybody that walked, regardless of where you came from, and I really do appreciate my Jersey girls for coming out. Tornado was trying to take it home. He was trying. I wasn't on a panel, so I can't really, talk about how that went. But I do feel like that should have been Tornado's money, especially with his performance. He was. It's no shade, and I love everybody.
Work. Well, it real recognized real. We appreciate that. Thank you so much, Butter. Catch Butter in December. He has another ball coming up, a Christmas ball. What's the date, Butter?
December 17th, a Christmas holiday mayhem.
And what's the grand prizes?
A grand prize first is the tri-state area female figure team. It's kind of hard to explain, but there are 5 captains. All of them are female figures out of New Jersey, and they will be picking someone on their team from each of the parts of the tri-state area, New York, Philadelphia, and New Jersey, on their team. Their legend can be from anywhere, and the prize for that is also $1,000. And then mini grand is realness as a house, the Christmas card. So feel free to check all the categories out on my page.
All right.
All right.
Well, we thank you for that, Butter. And
thank you for having me.
Next time we'll have you up tea time. You know, you can have tea with us, and be one of the girls. But thank you so much for being
here. Absolute. Thank you for having me. I love you. Shout out to everybody.
Love you too. Thank you, Butter.
God bless.
Yes. So that was Butter from Trenton, New Jersey. Y'all need to start going out to Trenton, Miss Thing. Trenton is part of Jersey. She ain't part of Philly.
I just Googled the map. She's about an hour from us, sis.
Yeah, she's not that far.
I heard that she was not that far. Are they Banji there?
Not are they Banji?
No, it's not. It's not Banji there. They actually have great venues and everything there. Trenton is really cute.
Oh.
But yeah, I already looked it up. Sis, maybe we can go. I'm not big on going to QQ functions, but I do like to support.
Yeah, we got to support the kids. Well, support the youth. I'm sorry. We have to support the youth.
The youth.
Let's go out and support his ball next time and see the girls vote down for the 1,000.
Now I don't know how I feel about people saying they want to keep it for their home team. You can't be having no preferences.
You know how some people be like they want to make sure it's stay and they stay, but it sometimes don't happen. It's stay and they stay. You know how that is.
I mean, I've been known to dip into a person's area once or twice and snatch home something and get back on that flight.
I'm not even from Jersey, and if I see Tornado walking, I'm gonna be like, I want him to win. It's Tornado's night. Like, no shade. It's Tornado. No shade.
Yeah, Tornado is like yes.
Wow.
Yes. Shout out to Tornado. All right, so we're gonna keep it going. We're here for the tea. We did a recap. Thank you, Butter, for the recap of your Vogelwing ball. Shout out to Butter O'Navy. He's doing things in Trenton, New Jersey. He has a ball coming on December 17th. But we're here for the tea.
Brick City.
So, Tammy Rivera, Waka Flocka wife, went into CBS, and I'm just gonna play the clip, and y'all just get in, and then we're gonna cover the tea because I don't get where she's calling this racial profiling. But okay, let's see.
Who works here knows me, but her. She must be new, but she sat there and watched me on the aisles. She sat there and watched me on the aisles and told me to not open. And it was the mannerism in which you spoke to me like I was a child. Don't do that. Why are you watching me from 2 hours away telling me not to open something that I'm about to pay for? And then she would tell me to leave the store. I told her to call the police. And I did. Girl. And she's still running her mouth. And she's still running her mouth. And you're still running your mouth. And you're about to be on Instagram to 7.5 million followers. So laugh at that. Yeah, you.
She didn't give a fuck.
Whew.
She was like, and I did.
It was the audacity for me. Not knowing the difference between a bodega and a pharmacy.
So she went on to say that she was racial profile because the lady, saw that she was a person of color and saw her opening up something. So therefore, she felt that she had to approach her and tell her not to open up, the items in the store. How do you guys feel? You ladies and gentlemen feel about that?
Well, you're not supposed to open nothing before you buy it.
No matter if you're fucking a rapper,
black, white.
Well, I don't know if that's a rule though. I've definitely been in stores and knew I was going to buy a soda and opened the soda and started drinking it while I was shopping.
It's to the person discretion of who's working there because I've done it too. True. People haven't said nothing.
Yeah, I just think from the video we don't have enough to say it's racial profiling. The scenario that she gave, I'm sure we're all Black people on here. We've been a victim of that type of racial profiling when we've been followed and watched in stores. So for me, it resonates with a true lived experience that many of us have experienced. But I just think the amount that we were shown, we just really can't decide one way or the other. Because and not to say that she's guilty of this, but the way that the recording came, right? I could be at a McDonald's and just start saying, "Hey, I'm being kicked out right now because of," and we don't know what's going on. It's Tammy Rivera.
Personally speaking, just because of the scenario, You know, she says she goes there every other night. Everybody else seems to know her except for this lady.
She's a regular.
Which she seems says that the lady is new more than once, and every time the lady says she's new, the lady, if you didn't hear her, she goes, "And I'm not." But I just kind of feel like I want to, for a minute, I just want to be like, Tammy, I feel like the reason she was really watching you was honestly because I feel like she'd be stealing. I feel like every now and then when she be in there, she pickpocket a little piece of something, no shade. And that's why bitches be looking at her. And then
I mean,
like,
let's not
we can
act
go
like
back
just
and
because
look
a
at the
bitch got
cameras.
money, a bitch
No
won't.
shade. Let's not
Okay.
Let's not sit here
Exactly.
and make her feel grand, because what she did was tacky. And when you're grand, you have enough coin to wait until you get into the car
Ooh.
and mash your chips. Because when you live a real fabulous fucking life, you'll be worried about if paparazzi is flicking you with a bag of Doritos.
But
My thing is,
I think
though,
what
she
you
could have bought it. She could have bought
like
it and
or
opened it
something?
right there
And
and
then
returned it right there.
And then to make it
She didn't
racial
like it.
profiling was just, you know, first of all, you're not a dark skinned girl, you're not a brown skinned girl, so you deal with the light skin supremacy, so you get the pass for that. So, you know, it's like, don't play victim when you know, like, you know, at the end of the day, that is policy. Like, are we really gonna sit here and, you know, embarrass this employee because she's literally doing her job?
I mean, I don't
She's
know,
wrong
because
for
I
doing
feel
her
like
job.
That's why she being
I also feel though that if I'm opening something in a store that I know that I'm going to purchase, don't do that isn't a response that I would take kindly to either. I would prefer, hey, do you plan to buy that? Yes, I'm going to pay for it when I get to the register, and I'll let you know. So again, I just
agree.
think, I mean, the scenario gives kind of believable. It gives a little clatchet on her side and probably a little aggressive on the sales associate side.
Yes, yes.
The sales associate was laughing at her.
Yeah,
she was keying at her. Every time she said something, she said, and I did, and I will, and I won't, and I'm not.
You know what I'm saying? So even that sounds like, even though her intent,
stealing.
but see, that to me sounds like even though the sales associate's intent may have not to been racially profiling, she's definitely given I don't give a fuck. And so her attitude is already it is a very aggressive demeanor for a sales associate to be watching.
It was.
I mean, we didn't hear how she said it though. We didn't hear. She just said that. She said it like
But
that.
also, she also stated that she knew that the woman was following her. So the fact that you knew that she
said
was watching
her,
you, you knew she was watching you, you knew she was following you. So why would you antagonize the problem? That's the problem with Americans sometimes. They know the problem and they still like try to instigate it to try to, you know, make it bigger than what it is when it needs to just be, it just needs to be resolved, or, you know, you think. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're a grown woman, you have a child. You had enough sense to sign up and do Love and Hip Hop. You didn't have enough sense to go into the store and, you know, just no fucks for the chips. Was it chips that she was eating? What was it that she opened?
Girl, it was not chips. She opened up a do rag. What was you saying?
It was a
oh, well, maybe because I have some chips and I want to open them up.
What was you saying,
That's
Bud?
probably why.
No, I was saying she was wrong all the way around. Like, you just can't do it. Like, at the end of the day, you're not supposed to do it. We all know you're supposed to purchase it and then open it.
Yeah.
And she just she thought she could do it, and the lady gagged her ass, and
basically
she tried to get the lady back.
She gagged her without her chopsticks.
I would have read her. I'm not gonna lie.
Asian lives matter.
I told you. I would have read her. Me and her would have definitely got into it. She probably would try to set me up and everything. I would have gave it to her real nasty. But I wouldn't have reported her and did all of that.
But see, this is where I don't know that she was racially profiled, but but the kind of bitch I am, if I would have been being followed and all of that, I disagree with Sasha. If I feel like I'm being antagonized, I am the one who antagonizes back. So once the girl was following me, I probably would have opened it, and I probably would have like, yes, bitch, why are you following me? I'm trying on my bonnet. I have coins to pay for it. Get out of my face.
Yes, it was giving petty.
Yeah, I would have been
petty right there.
Sometimes I get like that too. I'm like, don't follow me, like, girl, like you already.
No shade. It would have gave don't follow me.
I don't give people a reason to follow me in stores.
It would have gave that.
But sometimes you don't give them a reason, but they automatically already gonna look at you because of.
Yeah,
I look shady.
Who you are.
I just look shady. I look real sketchy, especially when I got this
kind of
big
takes us into our next topic, but
baby, like, what's she doing?
Well,
Tea
our
time.
next topic actually is so George Floyd's statue was defaced, and it was defaced by allegedly a police officer was arrested for defacing the George Floyd statue.
Mhm.
No
A
fucking
black
way.
or white police officer?
No fucking way.
It was a white police officer.
Do you guys have feedback?
No.
I'm disgusted. But I'm also not surprised.
Right. I'm not surprised either. Like, the shit that them people do is
Oh, we were just
White people in.
We had
what
some
you call it?
White people in.
White people in.
Okay. Is that a new term?
Let me drop down for 1 second. I'm getting really bad feedback.
Go ahead.
Really?
Is that a new term?
White people be white people in. Niggas be niggering.
Oh, explain.
That's just what it is. I mean, is there really an explanation needed? Like,
Sis, did you say white people be niggering?
well, white people. No,
No.
I said white people be white people in. Niggers be niggering.
Okay.
Like when white people see niggas, what do you really think they be thinking in their head? There go them niggas again, niggering it up. Exactly. Makes sense, right? Look at what we black people, we see white people, we be like, girl, white people just be white people and like, what they, girl, white people, like, you know?
Oh my God.
Well, honestly, I feel like with certain people, it gives that because I do have a set of white girlfriends, and there are some times where I have questioned my my blackness, but it didn't mean that I wasn't worth I wasn't worth it, or I wasn't important, or I wasn't human, but I guess because we're I'm black and Asian, but when you're black, it's like when you walk past a white person, can we agree that we secretly think that they call us a nigger? Or do our actions make us that word?
I don't think necessarily that every last one of them utters that in their mind. Okay. I don't feel that way. I feel that there's
negative.
I feel that maybe some sense of intimidation, but I don't sense they will just think that in their mind to say that.
Yeah, like to blatantly say that.
I think if you, depending on the generation they were born.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Because I know back in the day they would have said that.
But so can I give the update on the statue? Yeah. Sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
I don't know what was going on. So earlier today, a 37-year-old man was arrested for defacing the George Floyd statue in Union Park earlier this month. His name is Michael Beals, and faced a single charge of mischief and vandalism in the Park South Plaza on October 3rd. Let's see. Yeah, this is the second time that the statue has been vandalized. It was first unveiled in Juneteenth on Brooklyn Flatbush Avenue, and it was vandalized just 5 days later with black paint and marked with the alleged logo of a white supremacist group. So yeah, I just want to say, like, how do you guys feel about this in juxtaposition? This is tea time. This is let's challenge and expand our thoughts. How do you feel about this type of vandalism in opposition to, let's say, vandalism against statues that we find offensive? 2 summers ago, especially, there was a lot of vandalism and destruction of Civil War statues and memorabilia. Not necessarily say Black Lives Matter, but it was definitely as part of the Black Lives Matter protest and movement. So how do you feel about the general vandalization, and do you feel any specific way about the vandalization of the George Floyd statue?
I honestly expected it to happen because they did it when we had Black Lives Matter on the streets, so I've already expected something like this to happen. Do I think it's like an equal or a right, because it, in the past, no, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but, a statement has to be made somewhere, and so if that was the statement, in the past, what we did, but I still don't justify what happened today, like 2 wrongs don't make a right.
But what did we do?
I mean, well.
No, I'm saying, so I was saying.
We're not going around fucking up all all them white people statues.
But no, that's what I was saying. We weren't. There was a summer where that was happening.
There was.
Statues were getting pulled down left and right across North Carolina, South Carolina.
Well, they keep pulling them down.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
to George Floyd.
Right, so this is like the art of war, right? So think about it from that perspective of an art of war situation, or to your point, to Sasha's point with the last situation with the young lady at the store. Do you feel that at some point now we're just two antagonists going back and forth? Is that the best way to do it? To just go around vandalizing statues and forcing our way and saying that, hey, we don't appreciate this? Like, how do you guys feel about that? How do you guys even feel about George Floyd having a statue and being a martyr of the Black Lives Matter movement?
I'll let others answer first.
I think it's beautiful that he has become a statue of the Black Lives Matter movement. It was really a heartbreaking, it was a very heartbreaking situation to see. It brought a lot of trauma to America to visually, literally see that this is exactly what we go through, that you don't have to have a weapon on you and you will still lose your life. It's unfortunate that they vandalized the statue, but we live in white America. We want this to be Black America, but it's all about the white dollar. Pop your collar.
Right.
And it's just very unfortunate that we live a timeless life where we're trying to get rich or die trying, but before the time you get rich, they're gonna try to kill you or you done die trying.
Facts.
So and niggas is out of jail, but they still locked up. So, and I mean that mentally. There are a lot of people who are free, and they've been institutionalized, but also as well, it's just very heartbreaking that COVID was supposed to bring us together and teach us the basics of loving each other and respecting each other and respecting each other's boundaries. And it's like, how many more times are we gonna accept that it's getting worse before it gets better? Like, is it necessary to vandalize something to prove a point? Because that still does not take away from this man being a great father at all. And for the rest of the topic, I have no comment. Morgan?
I feel like Sasha really summed it up, to be honest. Like,
God bless his family.
I think that it's really fortunate. Well, it's really unfortunate that because of what happened to him, he has to be a statue of what Black Lives Matter is, but also very fortunate because of the fact that that was like one of like a really pivotal time within time where people really did like say like enough was enough. Like people were out there marching. It was like a big thing with that. So as far as anything else, I plead the fifth and no comment.
No shade.
Well, all right. Yeah, I mean, I don't like a lot of martyrs for causes. I do think that the power that it attempts to give a movement at time, it can distract from the movement, because then the movement becomes about that person's life and we're going to nitpick and pull that person apart. And a lot of times that's used as a deflection from, the bigger cause or reason why we're using this person as a martyr to begin with. I also have an issue, and it's not necessarily on George Floyd, but I also have an issue with the way in which our martyrs typically are Black men, when Black women receive equal amounts of violence, police brutality, and death in the society, but we rarely put feminine energy to the forefront of causes because feminine lives don't matter as much. I mean, if we just want to be truthful about it, feminine energy, feminine lives, feminine bodies don't matter as much, so they typically rarely serve as a martyr. I mean, I think Breonna Taylor's death to me was even more tragic. I mean, not to say more tragic in the sense that their lives can be compared in value, but you literally had a woman that was in her bed, sleep, who basically gets gunned down by the police and then is told, well, the next door neighbor actually gets to sue and say that she was the victim of a ricochet bullet, but not the person that's actually laying in the bed sleeping gunned down. Exactly. And then because of what was going on with his situation, it took us weeks and months to even hear about Breonna Taylor, just because women aren't put to the forefront of this cause and movement.
So it reminds me of when Malcolm X said the most disrespected woman in America is the Black woman.
Yep. Yeah. And don't add on top of that Black, trans, poor, disabled, uneducated. It just gets more and more complex the more and more you pack on top of that. So
yes.
I don't know if I'm wrong. Well, I know I'm not wrong for feeling this way because it's how I feel. But like, it don't bother me that it was messed up. Like, it will bother me if the new Marsha P was stuff was messed up at her new part. That will bother me.
Mm-hmm.
None of that. When all of that was going on, I honestly didn't care because I felt like at the same time that was going on, it was so much stuff going on in our community with people being killed and nobody said nothing. Black Lives Matter said nothing. They gave no fucks. So it's really hard for me to be like, oh damn, I just, and I know I'm Black and I know I'm a Black man and all of that, but it's just like, to them, it's not the same. It's like me and the straight Black man can walk down the street, a police will pull up and treat us the exact same, beat our ass and lock us up. When we get in there, if somebody that know me say, oh, he's gay, the same person who I just got beat up with, they'll fight me just because I'm gay. So it's so hard for me to be like, oh, damn, I don't care.
Or just like if a trans woman gets pushed on the train station.
I care. A lot. That really bothers me. That hurts me to my heart, to my core. But when stuff happens to like straight Black men and stuff, I just be like, okay.
You bring up a very good point. And then in sociology, it's when we have an issue with the intersectionality of both communities, right? We're Black and gay at the same time. And oftentimes we're forced to feel as if we're having to choose one or the other. And I wholeheartedly get what you're saying. I think a lot of times cishet Black men, yes, Gillette, cishet Black men specifically, are very demonstrative to an intersectional allyship that we should have as a community because we're always all Black and we're always gay and LGBT at the same time. I just sent in to the newsreel a clip that I would like to have played that talks about intersectionality. If we could just pull that up real quick.
Oh, sure, no problem.
So someone on Instagram asked me which part of my identity I would fight for first, being Black, being gay, or being a woman. And since the whole Dave Chappelle debacle, I've been seeing sentiments about how LGBTQ issues get prioritized over Black issues. And after giving it a lot of thought, I realized that these parts of my identity cannot be separated, and I'm going to explain why. Let's say I put being Black before being a woman. Where does that leave me when I'm battling racism and white supremacy while also enduring misogynoir within my own community? Where does that leave Black women who are having our lives taken, like Toyin, who was on the front lines for Black liberation, only to be murdered by a Black man? Where does that leave little Black girls when their molesters go unpunished because they're seen as fast or grown? Where did that leave Breonna Taylor when her case got delayed coverage because movements against police brutality are centered around Black men? Now, let's say I put being a woman over being Black. How does that work when Black women are disproportionately affected by sexual assault, domestic violence, homicide, but mainstream feminism has always been centered around white women? How does it work when white women continue to benefit from the oppression of Black men and women? And my queerness can't come before my Blackness, not when my Blackness is far more identifiable. Not when a lot of white people refuse to acknowledge that despite being queer, they still hold power and privilege over Black people. And lastly, how can I put being Black over being LGBTQ. When little Black kids are being abused, unaliving themselves, being left homeless, having to sell themselves, all because they're queer. When just last week, me and my girlfriend were disrespected by a Black man, all because we dared to hold hands in public. How does it work when my brothers and my sisters believe that my existence as a queer person is destroying the Black community? Y'all are fine with Dave Chappelle spreading narratives that oppress Black trans people as well, but us being on TV is an agenda. So at the end of the day, my existence is intersectional, and so is my oppression. Putting certain parts on the back burner will always leave me marginalized in some way. And if I have to shrink any part of my identity to fit in with y'all's movements, then I have to create my own.
So what I really liked about that was the fact that at the end, she really addresses the heart of this conversation, right? About the intersectionality that which we exist. I can't liberate myself for being Black without liberating myself being gay. A trans person can't liberate themselves being trans without liberating themselves being Black. And so the challenge is for those of us who have the bravery to understand intersectionality is to, while yes, hold cishet men accountable, hold cis heterosexual society, Black cis het society accountable, while also fighting for their liberation as well, because ultimately their liberation entails our liberation too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So go George Floyd.
The girls was I'm sorry. I had muted the girls. I'm sorry. But yeah, so that was really, really good. It really broke everything down. Some agree with Bugs as well. Throughout the whole time, George Floyd was like, going through, being murdered or whatever. There was a trans girl in Detroit that got shot down and beat up outside of the corner store for just, being herself. And nobody said anything about that. So I kind of feel the same way. Like, can we get some light over here too? We go through things as well. So,
yes.
I love my trans girls.
Trans is beautiful.
Yeah, so we're gonna jump into our next topic, which our next topic is talking about. I really don't even want to speak Lord Voldemort up on this panel, but his son is in
Cheeto Jr. We call him Cheeto, sis.
Cheeto Jr. is in the news.
Oh, like Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Call it flaming if you want, but his son is in the news. So that Alec Baldwin is in the news for firing shooting another actress on set with the gun which was loaded, which he did not have no knowledge of. So
why was it loaded?
That's kind of giving Bruce Lee tease.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Bruce Lee's son.
Didn't that happen to Bruce Lee back a few years ago?
I think it's funny. It's not funny.
Hold on, let me read the shirt. So Donald Trump Jr. slammed for selling T-shirts that read "Guns don't kill people, Alec Baldwin kills people." So
wow, to have a shirt made so quickly.
Like, it's just like, your father, if you can't, this is too much with that family, okay? It's like we cannot get rid of them. Like,
it's weird fucking central over there.
I mean, but that's no different than all they did was add a name to what they always say, right? Guns don't kill people, people kill people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pro Second Amendment, it's a scapegoat, it's a red herring just to kind of make sure you push the agenda that, we're not going to do any gun reform in this country. I mean, you look at Sandy Hook, you look at Orlando. We've had so many in the last 10 years. We've had so many mass shootings, and we refuse to do gun reform. The last time we had serious gun reform was actually when the Black Panther Party showed up on the steps of the Capitol in California in the 60s. That was the last time we ever had true gun reform in this country because Black people wielded guns. I mean, but what do you expect from the Cheetos? They're a bunch of inbreds.
How do y'all feel about the It's really not a topic to really.
Well, are they trying to charge Alec Baldwin?
I don't think
well, they're
so,
slamming him right now. I don't know if this charge has been brought upon, but they're like everyone's like slamming him in social media.
But I guess it's because it's social media. But he didn't do nothing. I don't think he knew the gun was loaded. He's just supposed to be shooting, right?
Well, not Alex Baldwin. They're slamming Trump Jr.
Oh yeah, they should.
Yeah.
I mean, I want that
say,
family to disappear.
Damn, definitely.
They can.
They're the worst.
I think the fascinating thing about like the story or what happened, or even just about like guns in general, is that there can still be a blank round and it can go off and kill someone.
Come on, military wife.
So, well, that's what happened. That's like literally what happened.
Oh, so it was facts. It was a blank.
It was a blank, but it still went off and killed her.
Right.
Oh.
Well, if it's a blank, what shot her?
Someone said, hold on. Someone in the comments said, he even asked why was he handed a hot gun.
I mean, so this one of those.
So was it a setup?
Right? They said it was a cold gun.
But they have guns on set?
Yes, but see, this is one of those weird cases where it's like I feel I do have empathy and sympathy for Alec and his family and the fact that he has to live with the fact that he shot and murdered someone.
It was a mistake.
Yeah, but here's the other. So I agree, right? But here's the other side of that argument, right? Is even with play guns, those of us who were raised around guns, and we're always told you don't even point a play gun at someone. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you guys remember back in ballroom, that was one of the big issues I had about someone allegedly pulling out a gun at a ball and their hand swinging back, is that can fire off and hit anyone. Right. So my question also, to hold everyone accountable, my question is, why are you playing with the gun, and why is a play gun, code or not, aimed at a person to where if it did go off, it would hit them and kill them?
Okay.
Right?
So was he? Is this like the movie?
They were shooting.
Yeah, they were shooting the movie, so he had to shoot a scene where he shot somebody.
See, I thought it was a BT.
No, he wasn't shooting at someone. He was shooting the gun.
Just playing.
He was shooting off into the distance at a producer.
Playing,
right?
Right.
Oh, man, that's
wow.
That's what I'm saying. It was a BTS. It was behind the scenes. I'm playing with a gun. Hey, Bugs. Ooh, boom. And it hits you, right? My intent wasn't to kill you, but at this point, I mean, you're a grown man who knows not to aim a play weapon or a real weapon at anyone.
Yeah, that's different. That's different.
I mean, I can definitely see, depending on how the lawyer sets up, him getting like a third-degree homicide type situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Where it wasn't intentional. He probably he'll do a year and a day if that, or no time served at all. But at the end of the day, if I'm playing with a play knife on set and doing this, and it pokes someone's eye out, right? That wasn't my intent, but I just poked someone's eye out playing with a play prop.
Well, rest in peace to the was it a woman that was injured?
Yes.
Yeah, rest in peace to her, and my condolences to their family.
Somebody in the comments said he shot 2 people. I only saw.
Yeah, no, it was 2 people. One person died. One was critically injured, but they're okay now.
So what was he doing?
He's just like,
what was he giving in this movie? Was he trying to get Scarface?
How did they? No. But my thing is how. Never mind.
Yo, that's Buck. Alec Baldwin.
I mean, it's a really fucked up situation, But speaking of all this, this Black Lives Matters and all this kind of stuff, and maybe I'm wrong for this, but I don't have a lot of empathy and sympathy, especially when things like this happen for white people, because you know how many circumstances that Black people were, friends that were playing with guns and didn't mean to shoot nobody, but you're Black and he's dead, so you murdered him. Oh well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is one of those things where it's like, you're a victim of circumstance, buddy. And a lot of us who look like us have been victims of circumstance, and there's nothing we can do about it. So, you shouldn't have the right complexion to forfeit this election for jail time. Sorry, Alec. Love you. I'll be waiting for you when you get out.
Yo.
You love her?
No.
No. I mean, great actor.
I mean, he was going behind bars, so you tell a person that's going, farewell, see you when you get out.
So, all right, so that's enough about Alex Baldwin and Trump Jr. We don't want to give him too much life. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, coming up, we have, a special guest. Like I told you, there's a lot of male testosterone here today. It's Hump Day on Wednesday, so there's a lot of men here today. So we have the one and only Malik Miyake Mugler from HBO Season 2 legendary winner. Actually, one of the winners from the team. Coming up, we're about to get a little juice from him and see what's, life after legendary. So let's, bring Malik up and let's see what his get there.
Oh, he got busy right there.
Yeah.
What's goody?
Hi, Malik.
Hey, everybody.
Diva.
Okay, coming soon. I'm chilling. I was back in the green room, enjoying the show.
Was it cute back there?
I was having some really good. Yes, we got our little snacks, waters, everything back here. The air is flowing.
Yeah. So what's going on? I saw you cutting up in that clip. You carried on, but
okay, y'all know I love showing out for the people, especially at OTA. Most of the time I'm there like supporting a lot of like the students that I teach now. I always tell them like go start there, get out there. So I'm always there like supporting them.
Got you.
You did your thing.
Yeah, so now we got you here. Tell us a little bit about, Malik Miyake Mugler, Juicy Couture. Give us a little resume. What's up? Welcome to Tea Time.
Okay,
wait, before you answer that, is it Miyake Mugler Juicy Couture or Juicy Couture Miyake Mugler?
Ooh.
Well, I was actually a Mugler first before I was a Juicy.
So you're gonna hold the Juicy last name last. It got the most power.
Well, no, they're both iconic houses. They're both, top dog.
Way to work your way out of that one. I like that.
Okay.
No, I was trying to get it hot, trying to have a mainstream versus Kiki scene debate up here. But go ahead, you worked your way out of that one.
Oh no, y'all know I love the Kiki scene down. That's where I started. Actually, I started in the Kiki scene when I was 15. I'll be 27 next year, so it's been almost 12 years I've been in Kiki Ballroom. And yeah, that's where I started. That's what made me fall in love with ballroom. Back then, I never thought there would be a legendary and this and all of that. Like, it was really just for fun and for the key. But I mean, it's turned into like a career for me at this point. So,
Wow.
So tell us a little bit about that. How has life been after legendary?
After legendary, I would say that things changed for the better. Yes. It's not like life changing. Like, y'all know we won $100,000. Yes, but you split that by 5 people and you get your cut and you go about your way. And
then you pay taxes.
Right. And then you pay your taxes. And then if you live in New York City, like my entire team, $20,000 is nothing. So, I mean, it was life-changing in a sense where the exposure allowed me to make Malik Miyake Mugler a brand and its own like name. Like, I left my job. I teach my classes every week, twice a week, full time, hosting parties, doing things like that. So it allowed me to change like what I was actually doing for money, like working a 9 to 5. Like, we don't do that no more. We are the job, thank God. So I'm really grateful for that. And yeah, it's been good. Like, I teach class twice a week. Like I said, make sure y'all come out to my classes, support that is great. And I love what I do. And starting January, I'll be taking my class on tour, starting on the West Coast, then to the Midwest, then to the South, and then we going overseas.
So what do your classes consist of?
So my class is called Master of My Element. What I do in my classes is I only teach the elements of Vogue. Like I don't teach Vogue choreo. It's for anyone who wants to come and practice their own craft. Like find your Vogue. I feel like everyone has a Vogue. I just want to pull it out of people. Like I don't want anyone trying to Vogue like Malik. I don't want a bunch of carbon copies. I'm not in class like move your hand like this, do this. No, we don't do that. I say, this is a catwalk. Now let me see your catwalk.
So you want to show them originality because that's what's going to give them longevity.
And that's what I really, really pride my classes on is like being original. Like the last OTA, I made all my students come, and when they called beginners performance, I just gagged all of them. And I was like, okay, everybody's walking. Let's go. They're like, what? Like, I never walked a ball before. I was like, listen, you come to class twice a week for months now. You know all 5 elements of voguing better than half of some of these people out here. All of y'all, let's go. And
come on,
literally,
Tyra
like,
Banks. You read
the
those
last
cue
5
cards.
for, like, beginners performance was, like, all my students. And then grand prize, Evie, shout out to her. So yeah, I love it. I love it.
No, I love to hear that.
Congratulations.
I was around to watch when the voguing classes really started to take off, especially internationally. And just, I'm not a performer, but I'm someone who's been around the block for a time or two. And it's poignant that you point out that you teach people the elements of Vogue versus choreo. Because what I noticed after a while was a lot of rehearsed performance. You would see a bunch of great 10s because people have practiced that choreo, and then as soon as the battle zone happens, everything falls apart because they don't know the elements. They don't really know what their style of Vogue is, and it's hard to do choreo when you're in the hot seat voguing and get someone who knows how to engage with you and pull you out of your comfort. So no, that's a great class. Maybe an old groom like myself will have to attend. I got a nasty little catwalk.
And I mean, I've had like legends come through to class, icons come through to class, beginners, people who've never been to a ball. It's for everyone. Like literally, there's some days where I'll only like do 2 elements for the entire class and we'll just focus in on that. And then there's days where we like try to powwow, go through all of them, get it done. But my main thing is making sure that the next generations of voguers coming up are actually keeping Vogue alive, because right now everybody's learning from videos and what they see is like, oh my God, this person did a fab stunt. I want to do that. And now you think that fab stunt is voguing. But I tell people all the time, if you know your elements, you have all 5 elements, you can then have a timeless performance. You can do a stunt one time, but once I've done that stunt, how many times can I do it before you're like, okay, girl, what else?
Or before it becomes borrowed and mainstream.
Yeah, like when you really have your elements down packed and you can maneuver through all of them and you'll always be entertaining. Like,
so how did you feel on Legendary? We were there together, G.
Right. No shade. Trailer Sisters.
Okay.
How do I feel about Legendary?
I know it's been a long time, child. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's
a whole season.
I'm definitely grateful for the platform. I love what they're doing. However, there are a lot of things that they need to work on, and that I'm praying I see a change in for season 3.
Talk about it.
Yeah, point system gotta get fixed. Some of the categories we gotta be more authentic to what ballroom is. Because a lot of people like Legendary is their introduction to ballroom. What like even though it's not exactly ballroom, that's their introduction for a lot of people. And you want to make sure when we're introducing people to our culture that it's being done correctly, because these people come to a ball and they expect to see as a house done up in these productions like they see on the show, but that's not what we really do. So I'm just hoping that season 3 they make some changes, tune it up, because season 3 of shows to me is like make or break. It's either if you after your season 3 is like
that's right,
it's gonna be done or that's it. Like
I mean, honestly, I think they need to change the platform. I think they would have been better having open auditions and creating and creating houses from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know,
I
have
also think
100 people from ballroom all audition, and because I think with the current construct, right, they're gonna ultimately they run out of houses that have popularity power in ballroom or X, Y, and Z, and so now you run into these situations like we've seen in the last couple of seasons, where there are makeshift houses that are created on the spot or created out of the show. I just think, and one of the things I noticed as someone who watches the show and critiques the show, by them putting houses in versus individuals, a lot of the critique of the show rolled over into our own personal community drama, right? Like if I didn't like the Mugler's performance on the show that night and I just comment on it as I would any reality TV show, now it's given, ooh, Gunna the icon doesn't like the Mugler.
right.
And it's like that has nothing to do with it. We're critiquing, but I think to alleviate some of that, if it would have been a hodgepodge of people and they just kind of made teams out of whoever they thought was qualified, then it wouldn't be an attack on. It could just be like, oh, Gunner didn't like Malik's performance tonight, versus oh, Gunner has a thing against the Mugler today.
Yeah, I also think that like maybe if after season 3, I think they should allow people to like come on like individually. Like I would go on Legendary and compete, like and walk all the categories
Oh, you want
and
another
do that.
piece?
I think that would be dope. Yeah,
You
but
want
You want another piece?
however,
You said you want you want to come back.
however, I would have to win $100,000 myself because I will not do that again for $20,000. No. Not
I
even
told the girl
close.
it's a
I
lot of
would
work.
need
It's a lot of work.
$100,000 myself because what it takes to make that show, and it's physically demanding, emotionally demanding. Like, yeah, I'm gonna need a bigger check.
It's not the typical ballroom, honey. It's not.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think there's
no,
so
not
many
at
things
all.
I think about the show should change.
And
I
it's
think
more, and it's all about the elements too. It's not, it's not just about this death drop. It's really a dip, So I would like to see that too. I would like to see more elements. Like I would have liked to see more hand performances and when the legendary episode. So I mean, hopefully we get to see more when it comes, comes back.
Yeah, and I want to see more battling though.
I wish they would have been a little bit more honest about the premise. Honestly, I think that they are more a Vogue-centric show, but they presented themselves as they're trying to show the totality of ballroom, but ultimately they're not. And we learned about that in season 1 when they told the St. Laurents, well, maybe if you would have Vogued more in your introduction, you would have got a better score. But they're not necessarily a Voguing house, or wasn't at the time. There's several things, like even the judging. We're the only reality TV show of the game show type that's not judged mostly by its community. That's part of what you're judging, right? So your dance shows are typically by people in the dance community. Your music shows are by writers, producers, singers, rappers. And then you have ballroom, and there's one ballroom person who actually knows what ballroom is on the panel. And I think, and looking, like I said, looking at the game shows, we're the only one that's set up where it's like that. And that does a big service. It makes it more so about the judges than the judging.
Absolutely, I agree. That's a really good point too. But hopefully they get it together. I mean, I'm rooting for season 3. Like, I mean,
Of course,
I feel
an
like
all-star
anybody
season.
Oh yeah, I could see that happening. But again,
the
don't call
Tishis
me
will
if
be
it's for
back.
$100,000, baby. I won't pick up.
Tishis will definitely be in the building for the All-Star season. We were one of the world's favorite of both seasons.
We're not gonna make this
about to be a
They
fight.
definitely were.
We're not gonna make this
No
a thing.
shit.
So what's next for Miyake Mugler?
Right now I just been like working on like I think I want to get signed. I'm still not sure. Because I've been pretty fortunate to be able to still like get bookings and have opportunities without having to like cut somebody a piece of the pie or like whatever. But I think I want to work on being signed and also showcasing to a lot of people my other styles of dance. Like I started as a hip hop dancer. A lot of people don't know that I can dance. Like so it's time I really start like showing people again that, I ain't no one trick pony. So I'll be working on that. And, again, Master My Element is going to be going on tour all 2022. So hopefully, I'll just be in a bunch of different cities teaching the whole world how to vote. That's all I really want to do.
Any acting or anything in your future? I think, you have a nice camera presence, a nice voice timbre, have a good look about yourself. Any acting?
Yeah, but that's why I was saying I'm thinking about getting signed because I feel like like having an agent and having all those other opportunities that I could go for, like I would try my hand at anything. Like I've done acting, I could sing a little something for you, you know what I'm saying? Like I
Hit a
can
note
do a
for me.
lot
Hit a
of
note.
things. So, oh no, baby, not right now. No.
Oh,
and
okay.
you could dance, you know.
Yeah. So I
You know,
really want
Whitney
to
was
just
always
like
ready to hit a note.
keep going.
So Malik, before you go, can you like private chat me like your information for your classes so I can like blast it across because people are asking in the comments for this.
Gotcha. I'll send that to you for sure.
Yeah. So we thank you for coming and having tea and crumpets with us. You know,
Yes, thank you for having me.
we
You
definitely
know, I came in my pink and everything, original mean girl.
yeah. Yeah.
The original Mean Girls.
Okay.
Come on,
Okay.
he followed the theme.
Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
we thank you so much for being here with us tonight. You go ahead and tune in
Thank you
with
for
that
having
green room if
me.
you want and finish getting some snacks while I sit here and
All right.
chat with the girls.
See y'all later, babies.
All right. So yesterday, I was minding my business, on my chill-ish. It was like a little flash flood or whatever. And two commentators of the Kiki scene was like going back and forth with each other. I tried to be a mediator. Tried to intervene. The legendary. Y'all stop. Y'all stop. But I got drug in as being the treasurer of being the first time doing a commentator versus commentator on live. And it got up to $120. The winner was the one and only Karma Orici. He was against Demi Orici, but they're both in two different Kiki houses. Karma's a Milan and Demi is a Bodega. So I want to start a new segment where we do like a surprise sponsor category. My Cash App is on my page. If you want to sponsor, just give me the coin. If the girls are here, we'll bring them. I'll send them the invite. They come up and they do deals, and then I send them the money. That will happen at the end of the show. So you happen to the end of the show. If you want to, participate, just let us know in the comments, and then just send me your due deals, and then we'll go from there. But we do have another. Oh wait a minute, Gunna. What Floyd Mayweather did?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the clip. I don't know if you can play it. I was trying to grab it for you real quick. So in a nutshell, if you can't play it, basically a young teen, approached Mayweather at a Clippers game to get a picture with him.
Mm-hmm.
And Floyd Mayweather's response was, "No, bro, I don't take pictures with dudes that paint their fingernails."
Mm-hmm.
And kind of just walked away. And the guy was like, "Oh my God, Floyd Mayweather, you're a homophobe. How, that's fucked up. How dare you, XYZ," right?
Right.
So I kind of wanted to discuss, like, are we too sensitive? And maybe I'll get a little backlash for this, but are we too sensitive? Is the community too sensitive to where now Floyd Mayweather is saying that I don't want to take a photo with the guy who paints his nails, all of a sudden makes him a homophobe? Is there a homophobic microaggression under that? Possibly. Could it be that the boy looked like an emo or a goth, and maybe he is freaked out by emos and goths and it has nothing to do with sexuality, but because sexuality is the hot button topic that we automatically assume that painted nails means you're gay? Because I'll say, growing up, high school, first time I started seeing boys with painted nails, it wasn't because they were gay. They were like, the emo alternative kids. And so is this a real thing? Was Floyd Mayweather homophobic in that moment? Can we jump that gun and say, I don't want to take a picture with someone with nails? Like, how does this help our argument? Does this feed the argument that we're being too sensitive to people when they see this? Like, what do you guys think about that? Like, you really have to see the video. It's like 2 seconds.
I don't have the
The
video.
video's so weird. It's so awkward. It's like, it's very quick.
I don't know. Can you guys hear? Hold
on. Yes.
Go ahead. Y'all do okay.
Can you guys hear?
Go ahead.
And that's literally the extent of the video. I'm not gonna take a photo with a guy with nails, and then the guy's like, "Oh damn, you're a homophobe."
That's crazy. So is Floyd Mayweather a homophobe because the boy's nails was painted? Does that mean that he will get offended if a trans woman was to ask for a picture?
That
as a fan?
And that's what I'm trying to get to the heart of, is that
I love that he's a great boxer, but I don't like the extra, I don't like the extra homophobe shit. It's like, you guys are in the industry. Where's all this offensiveness stuff coming from? You know what goes on, when it comes to the makeup artist and the styling. Some of them, majority of them are gay. It's like, I don't understand how we're, we can't become blind to the ignorance.
Right. I don't know. I guess for me, it's just like, I'm anybody who knows me knows I'm pro, like, drag that celebrity, cancel them. You can't disrespect our community. I don't know if I was ready to make the leap for this young man, that me telling you I don't want to take a picture with you because your nose is painted, to all of a sudden I'm a full-fledged homophobe. It felt like it felt like one of those situations where if he was homophobic, making that jump from just I don't want to take a picture with a guy with nails to you're a full-fledged homophobe kind of detracts from our arguments that we're sometimes trying to make. I think it feeds the narrative that people say we're too sensitive.
Yeah, it kind of goes with the Tammy Rivera type tease. It's like we're quick to just label something without it fully being a full understanding.
Right.
You don't know that man is a homophobe. He probably just didn't want to take a picture at the moment, or he didn't want to take a picture with your nails, girl.
And then let me ask this too, because here's the other. I thought about it. I thought about this in so different many scenarios. I also thought about the fact that if he is a homophobe, you provoked his homophobia, right? By assuming that you should be able to get close enough and feeling entitled to take a picture with him because he's a celebrity, right? So even if he was homophobic, it was more so provoked than, let's say, a Boosie who goes out of his way to be homophobic when unprovoked, right? Like if I don't if I don't like, if I'm afraid of little people, and a little person shows up to my house and let me in, and I'm like, no, I don't let little people into my house. Am I now label this person because I didn't want to let someone into my personal space because X, Y, and Z? But I've never actively provoked the situation with a little person. You see what I'm saying? I feel like there's something about it that just feels uncomfortable, that the young man felt entitled to have a picture with him, and because he was told no, now you're this person.
But then that's the thing too. Just because they're a celebrity, people feel like because these stars and celebrities, they have a certain role, and it's like just because they're a celebrity doesn't mean that they are obligated to take a picture. Like, you're not paparazzi. They're human just like us. There we go again with the sensitivity of the gay card. But I mean, hey, if the man didn't want to take a picture, he had to take a picture. He probably went in the mood, like you said.
I feel like it's not about what you say, it's how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
And the verbiage and the verbatim of what he said was just, it did not come out correct in any manner. Yes, you're entitled to say no. Yes, you're not entitled to take a picture. Yes, all of that. But all you had to say was, "Nah, I'm cool, kid. Have a good one." Nah,
true.
Anything. That's it. You did not have to go this far to make an accusation as to why. The reason you don't even want to take pictures with this kid is because he has painted nails. Now, yes, this boy didn't have to take the accusation as him being homophobic. However, that also ties into what's going on clearly within this kid's life, and how this kid is clearly seeing himself and how he sees people express themselves to him. So altogether, it's just a clusterfuck of nonsense.
And I like that.
As celebrities, it really was. And as celebrities, or as people of an upper echelon or whatever the fuck, you have to set a better example when people come up to you, because it's not necessarily, the boy didn't grab him or anything like that. Like, it was very like, hey, can I take a picture with you? Like, that was it. Like, he didn't throw his phone at him. Like, there was no aggression or any type of and the way he dragged it like that, he was like, ew, you got painted nails, yo. Like, what the fuck? I would not take a picture. Like,
and this was to a kid?
Old.
It was for
the kid had to be no more than like 13. No shade.
Oh my
that
God.
boy did not look over 13.
I thought this was like somebody that was like
20.
Yeah, I thought he
21.
looked a little older than 13, but definitely a teenager, like maybe 16, high school age.
Maybe
Yeah, I was giving
15.
it, high school.
He didn't even have dirt on his lip. No shade.
Wow.
But yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think it's a clusterfuck. I think the way he responded was not necessarily a simple no would have sufficed. But again, I rarely like it. It was weird because when I saw the video, I'm rarely ever on the we're being too sensitive side of the argument. But in that moment, I just felt like it was so sensitive to just jump straight to.
I'm gonna also bring Bugs in and see his opinion on this as well.
Yeah, but I just
that would be dope.
I jumped like this is one of the first times I really thought about just you're too sensitive because again, assuming that he doesn't want to take a photo with you because your nails are painted because you're a homosexual would imply that most all homosexuals have their nails painted. And back to Sasha's point, we've seen him with gays, we've seen him with trans women, we've seen him with other people that have their nails painted, and it's not necessarily been an issue. So it was just the logical leap. But then again, going to Morgan's point, I think it's more a reflection of him feeling like he always gets picked on because he's gay and he's associating his nails being painted to him being gay. Therefore, now he's a homophobe.
Yeah.
As well as you, I mean, what 16 or younger child isn't fucking sensitive?
But insight, any inlight, you know, you're in the world, you're on the iTunes top, you know, what's going on?
I see it. I get it from both. I get it. Like, I get how, because I know for me, it's certain stuff I don't even say. Certain stuff I won't even post. Certain topics be going on, I don't even get in because I don't want nobody to take anything I said and try to twist it and make it seem like I'm something that I'm not. Right. And I do think that as public figures, rappers, singers, whoever you are as a public figure, you do have to be careful what you say, especially in this day and age, because people can make it something that it's not. It's so easy for a person to change the narrative to be what
really
that is not by just saying something. Because watching the video, it did not come across as if he was homophobic. It just came across as he didn't want to take a picture and he just was being stupid and said, I ain't taking no picture with no boy with nobody with painted nails. And he just kept it moving. It wasn't like he was, but it was like, that was dumb. You should have just, like she said, you should have just said, I ain't taking no pictures right now and just kept it moving. Or not said nothing. It was like, not right now. We just paid it because he didn't even stop. So it's like you didn't even have to say nothing. He was just being an asshole, just being Floyd. Right. But it's not like this is the first time that people have said he was homophobic. So it's like, why even try to take a picture with somebody that you already know probably don't want to take a picture with you, no matter how old you are? You know who Floyd Mayweather is. So you already know what he gives. Every year he say something stupid about gay people. So what the fuck you even try to take a picture with him for? If you're gay. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, oh, you're gonna post a picture, then you posting the picture, you posting a picture that about somebody who just said last year, fuck gay people or whatever. Like,
are you intentionally being an antagonist to try to get your homophobic moment so you can go by? That's what it felt. It felt like a viral moment for me. It felt like an intentional viral moment. And maybe I'm a little sensitive to it, going back to what we were talking about earlier with intersectionality. While yes, let's call Floyd Mayweather out on his homophobia from the past and X, Y, and Z. I'm also still very protective of Black male energy, Black people's energy, and to be almost plucked by this white, obviously sensitive gay boy. I'm sorry, not a man. I don't want to overage him to take away from his sentiments, but to like, it was almost like it felt like a Karen moment. Like, I'm going to like intentionally try to antagonize you to kind of get this moment with you. And, yes, Floyd Mayweather call him out for when he's wrong, but as a Black man protecting Black men, from white antagonists. I wasn't here for it. I just wasn't.
Me either.
I do agree with that sort of like culture of social media nowadays and like people less necessarily looking for a moment and trying to, get their viral moment or whatever the case may be becoming like a thing and stuff. So I agree. But
But I do think, and like I agree, kind of agree with you. Well, I do agree with you, Ghana. Well, I ain't gonna say I agree with you because I don't know if that's how you feel, but I do feel like our community can be um a little sensitive. Okay, for example, y'all know me and my husband, we have our own company or whatever. My husband was talking to another entity about something, and it's translated. In the conversation, in the text message, in the conversation, he said, "Okay, I need for you guys to be here, such and such and such," and the response was kind of like, "You guys, why are you calling us guys? We're women, this and this and that," and it was like, um, I don't. He wasn't trying to call you a man in no way, shape, form, or fashion. And I really felt like they knew that, but sometimes people just be kind of. And I don't want to say they're being sensitive because it happens.
Right.
So and it happens. I think it happens a lot more than I see because like I never even when it comes to like the trans and the butch queens and stuff like that, I've never witnessed trans women saying that the butch queens don't love them or protect them and stuff like that. From ballroom, we live together, we grow up together, we struggle together, cry together, fight together, protect the girls and all of that. It's just now I'm starting to see this new era and boys from out of so I don't know. I guess we have the right to be sensitive.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point with your example. I think sometimes it's where everyone's on defense, and so it makes for, as Morgan said, a clusterfuck, right? In that situation you just gave, what if I'm using a non-gender neutral term to address a gender diverse group of people? That is a learning moment. I for one do this in my workplace. I used to say, "Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?" Now I say stuff like, "Good morning, team." Words that they're not gender specific. And
right.
I think because people are so defensive, instead of speaking to your lover and saying, "Hey, well, we're a mixed group of people. Can you use something that's more gender neutral?" Right? Because at the same time, I don't want to tell somebody what their triggers are, specifically for our trans community. So being called guys, if you have you're going through your transition and where you are in your transition could be a trigger for you. So I don't want to take that power away from you.
Right.
But I shouldn't also be burnt at the stake for doing something so colloquial as saying, "Hey guys, how's it going?"
Hold on, somebody said, hold on.
And yeah, because like that comment said, and I had actually Googled just to see guys how it was used because I never thought you guys. I know that a guy means a man if it's used as guy, like it's my guy friend. But even in school, when the teacher in the classroom, the teacher say, "Listen, guys, I need y'all," and it be everybody. So
right.
But,
no, and that's what I meant by being a learning moment, right? So typically men, we've centered males. So a lot of our language is male centered. So anytime we have a group of mixed bodies, we typically will use a male noun or adjective or whatever to refer to that group of people. Only when it's a room, because let's look at the flip side. If there was a room full of guys and girls, how comfortable we feel like saying, "Hey ladies, everyone listen up."
But ladies isn't used as a general
exactly right, and that's the exact argument that we're trying to
right,
make, right? Is that we
right,
erase the identity of feminine energy by using guys to mean the collective, only using girls or a
yeah,
female pronoun when it's specifically female.
right. I get it. I definitely get it.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
like you said,
I
it
don't
was
think
a
people should
learning
be able to
experience
attack
for
about
both
that. It's
of
just
us.
a learning moment, and we should be able to have the conversation without it being like, "Why are you calling us guys?" It's like, "Hey, this is a learning moment."
Right.
So does it stem back to when the females feel comfortable with calling the guys bro or their girlfriend bro? Is that like an expression or is that just slang?
I know some girls who don't like it, but and then like
I don't like that.
my sisters,
Mom, you like
Like,
that?
bro.
I don't like
and
that.
they be like,
I don't
bro.
like that either. I find that offensive. I do.
My
I
sisters
live for
talk to each
bro.
other like that. They be like, bro,
I live for bro.
and they don't
Because
take
you're
it no
bitching.
way.
Yes.
I think it all depends on the person. That's just like some women don't want to be called bitch, and some women don't mind it. That's
Bitch.
like some gay guys don't mind being called girl, and some do.
Right.
So I think it all
I
depends on
feel
the person.
like I feel like it's more about an energy thing too. Like when you like kind of look at how like when you think about how someone's calling you, like referring to you, or how somebody's talking to you, and you can kind of tell if they're like if the way
You
they're
can
speaking
feel
is in
it.
a
You can
condescending
feel it.
manner, right? You can feel it. So I feel like if the energy is like, "What's up, bro?" Like bro, chill. Like I feel like if you can
Like,
feel
you
the
know, if
energy
it's
is
the
not, you
train
know
and he's
not to be,
carrying on your time, it means
aware.
he secretly want to have after you
Right.
leaving the bodega.
Like, oh yes. Like trade has a very distinct way of trying to put bro in a way to be offensive or to try to be funny.
Or
So
they'll try to
do
I
explain.
like you to call you.
Do explain.
Yeah, and okay, so like, okay, I use where I grew up as an example because that's really the only time that ever happened to me, honestly. So back where I grew up, like where my mom lives, is where I grew up. So if I go back there, most of the people, everybody remembers me from either who I was or they just remember me as now. All right. So this boy tried to act like he did not remember me, even though we literally grew up together and everything like that or whatever. Just was like trying to talk to me, all this other stuff, just being weird, like very like like stranger danger. You know what stranger danger gets. Anyway, so he when I finally like told him, like I was like, you know me. He was like, what do you mean I know you? And I was like, we grew up together. And he was like, how did we grow up together? And I was like, you really don't remember me. And he was like, no. And I was like, well, when I was younger, we had braids. I mean, I had braids. And he was like, I was like, okay, whatever. Break it to him. So he's like, oh yeah, I remember you, whatever. Blah blah blah. He's like, so how you been, bro? I'm like, what? Oh, yeah, bro, how you been? You never said bro before, bitch. Don't play with me.
You didn't say bro this whole conversation.
Any other time this man would see me, he was before I even told him who he was, or he really used to have conversation. He would literally say, "What's up, sis?" or "Hey, sis, what's good, sis?" Because that's a hood thing. That's where I'm from, so he knows that I'm from there, whatever. Now all of a sudden, bitch, you like, oh, yeah, what's up, bro? How you been, bro? Bitch, I will smack you. That was a big thing, but yeah, you feel it,
and I think
you feel the
language,
energy, you feel the heat.
I think that language is very very nuanced to the community, and as Black people who use a lot of nuanced, layered language, we feel, to your point, energy, right? Like we know the difference between what's good, yo, what's good, like nigga, what's good, like all those are what's goods, but we know which one means you at the fight, which
What's
one means
good?
my
What what's
DM,
good means.
which one means meet me at the bar, which one means meet me in the alley, just based on the tone.
Because what's good mean what it do. And you gotta find
I
out.
definitely get what y'all saying. I remember like when I stopped doing drag.
We haven't got there yet.
Wait, you used to do drag?
He was about to do he was about to give us a 1 and 2.
You just thought you were gonna just slide that on in there.
You're gonna slide it in. So okay,
I love how you slid that in there, Bugs.
All right, so
that was gangsta.
We're just gonna jump the segment,
That was gangsta though.
So everyone, Bugs used to be legendary
Destiny Revlon.
Oh, wow.
But yeah. But what I was saying was, I remember when I stopped doing drag and like I got into, you know, my boy and who I was, the type of man I was and all of that. I remember like being out and stuff and like getting attention and shit from boys and stuff, and people who knew me would come and be like, "Oh, what's up, Destiny?" And it used to be like, I used to look and be like, "You trying to be funny?" Like,
yeah,
I knew you was trying to be funny versus somebody who, you know, call me Destiny. Like, if Gillette call me Destiny, it's like, bitch,
it's love.
Yeah, it's love. You calling me that, but this person, like, you ain't. What you calling me Destiny for? Like, come on, you don't even know me as Destiny to even call me Destiny. But now, because you knew I was Destiny and you see what's going on, you want to be funny. So it's definitely about how a person say it. You said what?
Don't y'all start being funny out there.
Oh, yeah,
and don't y'all start being funny out there because he is a real nigga.
Yes, so don't try about.
But you know, we do that a lot in our community, especially when you're trying to cock block. It's given.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, sis? Girl, you don't ever call me sis.
Right.
Oh, you know it's giving that when a girl is very been giving very much.
Like,
so this is what we doing.
Yo, that shit.
You're not gonna check me while I'm in front of my baby's dad, though.
No, but see, you know the beautiful thing though is when you get to a certain point in your life where you flip it on them, and the boy that they trying to cop block, you don't even care. You be like, hold on, yeah, Miss Thing, what's tea, girl? Don't you see me sitting back,
girl? Right over there, like, and gag her, and gag her.
The boy pay it, and they pay it, and walk off feeling stupid. And you like, so yo, what's good? So back to what we said. Fuck her.
They was hitting my husband up like, you know, he used to do drag and stuff like that, and he was like, yeah. The day we met, I showed him videos because I'm not stupid. Like, I know how this. I know how people operate. I know how
you
this.
Take your power.
Yeah, like, so it's like, bitch, I'm all on YouTube. I might as well sell it.
And you know, like I said, you take your power when you do that. We know in our communities and in our our neighborhoods and stuff like that, the kind of things that people try to use against us.
Yeah.
You know, I'm almost 40. I learned a long time ago when I started dating somebody. By date number 2, I'd be like, hey, I did this in my past and this is who know me and this is who I used to date and this is who, because I'm not about to have somebody be able to go and be like, oh, you know him as Gunna. Ooh, I know him as Rico. Yes, bitch, you know my name. I used to go by that too. You know what I'm saying? You take people's power away from them. It's real nasty with us.
Yeah.
Giving very much Drake when he told the story. It's not how it went. No, he was lying 100%.
All that good shit.
You know, the girls love to be like, oh, you know, we used to talk. And you see that it'd be 3 inbox messages.
All that good shit.
But all you did was give me you drunk from my glizzy, and now you tell everybody we used to talk.
All right, so
come on, Glizzy. I need an old dirty Glizzy. Do you like Glizzies, Gunna?
Huh?
Do you like Glizzies?
Oh, I guess that's a no comment.
Like y'all talking about hot dog, right?
What's
exactly.
What's
an old dirty chili dog.
Plead the fifth.
I plead the fifth.
Like oh my God.
Yes, we're pleading the fifth.
Well, then that brings that brings us into introducing the legendary Bugs Destiny ex Revlon, now Godfather Orichi. But since you know we got off task, we're gonna share, you know, what he's been doing. You know, he has a nasty video out. He has a nasty he has his own record label, y'all, and he has artists. They travel, they stay booked and busy, and he's a married man. He has a husband. And he's overall Godfather right now. I'm gonna, you know, show a little something.
Come on, Morgan. I know that's right.
And don't think
if a nigga say he harder than he lying, all that tough boy talk, nigga, I ain't buying. About the press, these niggas know I. Homie, if you proud of what you doing, stop crying. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. All these niggas say they ain't haters, but they feeling it. Niggas get the spotlight, don't know what to do with it. Nigga get the chance to fuck my man, yeah, he doing it. Just so he can say it, throw it in my face. But the price of a taste is a bullet to the face. Put it on munch, I ain't never front. I was beating niggas up in wigs and some punks, motherfucker.
motherfucker
That was Mandy.
Okay, can I just add, Gillette? Do not forget to also add to his list of
I'm
many
living for the
greatnesses
neon.
is that the legendary drag performance is giving out $1,000 to legendary drag performance, the first time ever in ballroom.
Yeah, so like, are we gonna let him get his do his thing?
No. I'm just so excited. I love Buzz. You know, I love him. I've been supporting his brand. I love him. I love them.
So that was his one of his singles called Real Talk.
I love a nasty nail glow.
That was Real Talk off of one off
my EP, Leader of the Pack, that came out last year. But yeah, I'm Bugs, you know.
This was legendary. He just do your thing. Go ahead.
I'm Bugs, overall godfather of the house of Nino Ricci. I love my house so much, y'all. But formerly known, you know, Destiny, legendary Destiny Revlon. I'm the first. I'm the first drags legend perform for drag performance. I saw on Legendary it was a little clip floating around where old girl had said that she was the first drags legend, and it was so.
Remy or Alana?
Alana said that on Legendary, it was on the thing, and when she said it, I was like, why would she even say something like that?
Because once it's put out there, it's out there.
I was like, why would she even say something like that when you know that that's not the case? Like, you know that's not true. But you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm the first legend for drag performance. I was deemed in, 2010. I've been in ballroom for 21 years now.
Ooh.
I walked my first ball in Virginia in 2000. Started off a Mizza. I left real early because I wanted to Vogue, and they was like, "Nope, you just gonna walk real in sex
brother."
I wanted to Vogue, became a Revlon, and the rest was history. And now here I am in a back-end ballroom. I had left for a while. Never thought I would be coming back because after I left ballroom, I started my music. I was doing my own thing and shit like that, but Amari hit me up and was like, listen, I want you to come over here, come be with us. And, I did it. And being back in ballroom this time is different for me. I'm in a different space and I'm in a different house and the energy is different. And I tell them all the time, it's kind of like therapy because I went through a lot, like in ballroom, and I sacrificed a lot and I gave up a lot, and it was just a lot. So to come back into ballroom and be surrounded by people who are, positive influences and it's just different, and I feel different and I appreciate it, and I'm happy to be back in ballroom because I missed it. Yeah. But,
yeah. Okay. So one of the main
We're glad to have you back, fellow elder.
We're glad to have you in Ricci. You do a great job over there. So one of the questions that has came to my dear Abby is, you've created this new look and this new, this new image of Bugs. They wanted to know what, they all thought you was a femme queen.
I know. I remember that when I posted the picture, people was hitting me up like, what did you do? Where did you go? I was like, what do you mean? They was like titties and hips and ass, and I was like, none of it was real. like nothing was real. Like it was just all pads. I had to I would buy like grandma bras, and I would take like gloves and put gel in them and wrap them up in stockings. And most girls get bras and they have like the tight bras and the titty just sit there. I wanted the grandma bras, so when I put it in there, it moved and stuff. So people always thought that my titties was real and shit like that. And then I would pad. I was really, really, really good at making pads. And like
so
that
you
was
fucked up a lot of sofa cushions.
Yo, no, actually, I probably
secret.
My whole career of doing drag, I probably had 3 different sets.
Ooh.
I kept my pads for years. I would wash them. I would buy new tights, but I kept my pads because I didn't want my body to always be changing and stuff like that. So it was like I never really had to buy a bunch of different jeans and stuff like that because,
Once you found your body, you found your body.
Right.
You know,
dresses and skirts and shit, and people, that's why I don't get how drag. Like that's why when I be looking at I love the girls who I love my category, just drag period. But I don't be knowing what's going on. I don't understand why it's like. I always thought if you do drag, it's you want to look nice. You want to be as pretty and as like ladylike and as possible. But now they just throw a wig on and boy clothes and they just come out and they just vogue and they smell like
non-conformers.
But that's not, I don't know. I think they need to take more pride in their drag. I see a lot of times the drag girls be like, they look at us like this, they look at us like that. But it's like, if you take more pride in what you do, then maybe people will start looking at you differently.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I be looking at drag performance, I be like, I don't know if it's realness with a twist, drag performance, or what.
It all look the same.
Everybody.
Quick backstory. I never told you this. So when I first moved to New York back in 2015, I think this was around the time that you had just really started coming back and Bugs was more on the scene. And I was like, who is this Butch Queen? Who is this Butch Queen? And talking about the conversation that we had earlier about people trying to throw salt. Mm-hmm. I remember I was asking my friend, I was like, girl, Miss Thing, who is this Butch Queen? This Butch Queen is fine. And they was like, oh, child, that's Miss Destiny. I was like, wait, the legend? And they was like, yeah. I was like, they was like, so you don't want to? I was like, okay, but that ain't got nothing to do with what I see right here. And they gagged. But it just takes back to like what we said, how the people would do that because they could tell in the way that I was asking. It wasn't just like, hey, who's this person? Give me their background. It was given, girl, what's the deal with this boy? I need to find him. And they went straight to, oh, girl, that's Miss Destiny. As if that was going to deter me. And I was just like, wow. And so it's just funny that we finally had this opportunity. I never told you that story before now, but it did happen. And I was like, so I would try to look and I was like, okay, because I know Destiny, and maybe I'm a little off on this and tell me what you think. I don't know if you've even ever heard this before, but I look at like your rise to fame and then stepping back and then reaffirmation of who you are. It reminds me of a drag's version of Dividend Destruction. Kind of that same rise to fame as a female performer, getting your life, and then kind of taking a step back and reaffirming yourself and reintroducing yourself into the community as the new version of yourself.
Me and Film we spoke, and our story is a lot similar. One thing I remember first coming into ballroom, one thing that they used to do with drags, especially girls who did drags performance. And I think that's probably why it took so long to get the first legend for drag performance, because you didn't stay in drag long. Ballroom, everybody, they saw you in drag and you look good, they started telling you need to become a femme queen. And so everybody was pushed to become a girl because it was like, why are you getting in drag? So it was like so many people in that era. And that's why, no shade, a lot of people now to this day that are femme queens, I mean, they might don't say it publicly, but a lot of people, they wish they could have still took it off. especially in ballroom, because people was not forced, but it was like, this is what I got to do if I want to get this life that I want to get. I have to look this way. I have to do this. And it was bad with drag. Like, it was like I couldn't keep saying I couldn't really keep a rival because everybody would be, it was somebody would be, they'll be come out as a drag queen, and then within a year they went on to start walking film queen performance. They became girls. Nobody wanted to really. It's not too many that.
One of my favorite, my good sister, the legendary Tiny West,
Yes.
has spoken about this numerous occasions and said, one of the reasons that you guys don't have a lot in your category was exactly what you said. Before they would become legend, they would switch over to trans and become trans women. So it's almost kind of like, when I think about comparing it to other categories, almost kind of like the schoolboy category. It was a transitional category that people was kind of in until they moved on to something different or somewhere else. So you didn't have a lot of them. I know next month, right? We're gonna show up. We're gonna come to your ball, drag performance for $1,000, and there's about a handful of 9 that are actually known and are legendary. So I'm excited to see that. Do you have any favorites that you're definitely want to? I mean, not favorites like that because everybody wants to be the favorite, but like, is there some battles you're looking forward to seeing? Some 10s you're looking forward to seeing?
I definitely want to see Star. I definitely want to see. I want to see what Remy's gonna do. She won't allow me to know anything about her production or nothing. So I want to see what she's gonna do. All of them for real, because it's an honor to be a legend, and especially in our category. And I just hope they all come out and show out and fuck it up, because I want it. This is their moment to do that. It's all about them, because they earn it. They put in work a lot, and I love all of them. Like every one of them, I honestly live for them, and I've watched them, and I'm glad that I was able to do it.
I got one more question, Gillette, for the interview, if you don't mind.
No,
so how did you feel? This has been a hot button topic for the last couple years. How do you feel about someone known for drags, a legendary drag performer, walking an OTA or walking as a Butch Queen legend?
Okay. I personally feel like if you walk legendary performance, you should be in drag. If you're legendary for drag's performance, but I get it, because I know for me, I became legend in 2010. I walked legendary performance, I think 3 times, and I stopped doing drag. When I wanted to walk it again, I was told that I had to be in drag. I stopped walking because I wasn't getting in drag. So it was like, what's the point of me? I'm not going to walk. And I felt like I missed an opportunity to continue to do what I wanted to do, but I couldn't, because they told me I had to be in drag, and I don't think nobody should have to do that. So it's like, but I think it all depends on how it's worded. Right. I feel like if it says legendary performance, a bitch need to be in drag. If you legendary for drag's performance, then you should not walk legendary performance without. Now, if it say, I don't know. I think
performance OTA or something like that.
If it say performance open to all, and it say legends can walk, something like that. If it say Vogue film versus legends, then I think go out there, because it's open to all. But if it's a legendary performance, then you should be out there in drag. That's how I feel.
Gotcha.
I think that should hold some type of weight.
Damn, I got so many more questions. I love the interview.
No. We're interviewing the girls in the green room. I gave them a quick 5. But so one of my questions is, throughout, you said you've been in ballroom for like 21, 22 years now. What is some of the things like that you want to, teach the ones that's coming up to like try to steer away from? What are some things, like some challenges and barriers that you face, you know, through your years that you would like to, you know, pass along, you know, for others to try to watch out for or look out for?
One thing I would say is that don't allow ballroom to be your whole life, because I think, like, I know for me it was everything. From the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep, it was about ballroom. And after I stopped walking balls, I sat back and I was like, what the fuck? I don't even got the fucking trophies. I don't even know where these fucking trophies is at. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you definitely need to find a balance, and you know, don't try not to get caught up in the bullshit. And I know it's hard because it's everywhere, but like it's not needed. Like you don't have to, especially nowadays. Now it's so you don't have to really put your trust and it's so much I want to say.
That's what Gillette trying to pull out of you.
This is tea time. Say what you feel.
Like, just be careful. Like, be careful out here who you become. What is it? Vulnerable with? Who you allow it to really connect with your energy. Like, because everybody is not going to be for you. And even though ballroom is mainstream now, it's still flooded with the underground mentality and tactics and lifestyle. And you know, it's a dog eat dog world. And a lot of people will take advantage of you if they can. And you have to be able to see that. And so I think it's very important that when going into houses and getting gay families, and that you be really cautious when choosing and doing it, because just because it's lit up and just because it's all lights don't mean that it's a price that you pay. And it's a price that we all pay, but you don't want to pay too much. Like, and then 10 years, 15 years later, it's trauma.
Unpacking a lot of trauma.
A lot of drama that could have been avoided. Like, I deal with it. I had my situations with trusting people and, and being taken advantage of and things like that. And it's a hard thing to deal with, especially still being a part of ballroom. And that's the part that I want so bad to try to change, because ballroom, we have ballroom, but then we have this higher, whatever that word is, hierarchy. That's like, and that's where it all, the trauma, the that shit needs to go. And it's like you have people who have done so much to harm people, hurt people, mistreat people, but they are still idolized because of maybe they are legends or icons or founding this, or they've been here for this long and they're judges. And it's like it's not about them no more. And these people should not be judging. These people should not be having balls. These people should not be. And because it's like you've been accused of this or you've done that, but then you come to the bar and you're judging the same people that you mistreat and that you hurt. How does that make these people feel? This is not a safe space no more. Now this is a triggering space, because as I'm coming down the runway, I'm looking at the same motherfucking person who calls me to been to start doing drugs or to been feeling suicidal or to be or whatever is going on in my life. That's not fair. That's not fair in no way, shape, form, or fashion. And I feel like this thing has to stand up and be like, you know what? It's not about you all anymore. And so come to the ball, sit with your house and look and spectate. But if you have been one of these people, I'm not going to say names and stuff like that, but if you've been one of these people who have been one of them people, if you have been one of these people who have been poisonous to the core of ballroom, then it is no reason why you should still be getting plaques and awards and having ball. Like I was at the work ball, and this is public and this was proven or whatever, so I can speak on this or whatever. I was at the work ball and they called RR out. And I was right there going off, clapping, just going off. And then the next day I was having a conversation with somebody in Virginia about something that's going on in Virginia with my ball. People trying to silence me with saying what I want to say and saying how I feel. You know, people don't want that to be said. But anyway, the person said, well, you trying to control everything, but then you live in New York and you're not saying nothing about RR. And I was like, well, what you mean? What about RR? Oh, RR was just released from prison because he was having sex with a 16-year-old. And I'm like, what do you mean? How is that possible? But he was just judging. Tasha just pulled a gun out on him. And we suspended Tasha for a year. But this man was in prison for fucking a 16-year-old and he's up here judging people. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make no type of sense. We're protecting people that we don't need to, that has been protected for years. It's time to protect the people that are coming in here so they don't have to deal with this bullshit that so many of us had to deal with. And I'm not saying that everybody is going to be, you know, the cookie cutter and everybody's going to be positive, because it's not like that. I'm not always positive. I still have my toxic ways. I still can be an asshole and stuff like that. But right. That's not me. And I feel like I'm just passionate about it. Like I'm very passionate about it because of my own personal story. And I just know that, and my story is not just my story. My story is the same of so many other people. So it's and it's not cool. The after effect is not cool. And it just, I know for one thing, when it comes to my house, I'd be damned if my kids are gonna go through it. Like I'm not playing it. Like if I'm not doing it, don't bring that toxic energy this way. Like it's giving because I'm pulling up. It's like,
well, I know. Barb already knows where my stance is on it.
Yeah, like it's in. It's kind of like it's no difference than it's like, you know how they protect R. Kelly. All them people, and it's like they do this thing. I don't understand how people protect the predators and like.
I'm glad you brought up R. Kelly, because what I wanted to kind of segue into that to say, what we witness in our community is no different than we witness in communities at large, right? So people who are toxic, they have some type of tangible gift that they give to a community or to a culture. And so they become praised for that gift. That then ensues to power and fame, and people get attached to that fame. And it's hard to hold people accountable at that point, To your point, some legends, icons, these are people who have stature in the community. They've done great things on the floor, and there's a lot of power associated with them. So oftentimes it's easier to hold people outside of the community accountable, right? We were just talking earlier about cancellation culture and how we feel about Boosie and all that. Well,
not even out of our community, because if you was to if somebody was to say if it was you, they will hold you accountable.
Right.
If it was me.
They definitely pick and choose. We definitely pick and choose who gets held accountable. You and I both know the whole Me and you have been aligned on quite a few issues
when
it comes to this type of behavior in the community, and we've been made into pariah and been accused of trying to be shit starters and X, Y, and Z.
All of that.
Problematic X, Y, and Z. I don't know if you quite remember. There was a quick, short period of time where it's like me, Tiny, Lawrence, and a few of us. We were calling ourselves the House of Problematic because this is exactly what we were doing. We were calling out issues in ballroom with intent to force the conversation. So no, I agree with you. I think it becomes a point of, do we really want this space to be a safe space, and who is it safe for? Right? Is it safe for people who came here as nobodies who now have power, even though that they're misusing that power? Or is it supposed to be safe for the little lost boy or girl who comes in from off the street, who's trying to find themselves and find a creative outlet and try to find that space? Like yourself, don't bring that shit over here. Y'all saw my whole breakdown that happened back in June. I don't mind. And I think our community needs more people like that, more people like yourself, myself, where I think the other reason why people like yourself and myself tend to be problematic is because a lot of times in ballroom or a lot of times in communities, people who speak up and speak out are people who didn't earn their seat at the table with the same predators, right? But when you have someone like yourself or myself who's rightfully earned a seat to sit at the same table as the people that we're now speaking out against, now we're problematic because they can't dismiss our voice. You can't say, oh, she's just a girl who's social climbing. No, that's the legendary Destiny, the first of her kind, the first of his kind. So when he speaks, he's not doing this for clout. He's already earned his spot, right? Exactly. And so I think that's why people like ourselves tend to be painted as problematic, because we can't be dismissed. You can't be like, oh, they're not. No, we're bona fide legends, icons, leaders, founders, and all of that. And we're going against the status quo. I think because what happens a lot in community is once you earn a seat, you kind of become a team player with the people that's sitting at the table. And there are a few of us now. There's more that's happening. I'm seeing it more and more in ballroom, so I'm happy to see that. But there are more and more people that are earning that spot at the table and then turning that mirror on the table and saying, now that I'm sitting here, let's discuss how you've been acting for the last decade. Because I've been watching it, right? Much like yourself, I came into ballroom community in 2002. So a lot of the ways of these people that are being worshipped, I'm like, but I remember when she was the knot that was putting Tina in people's butt. Or I remember when she was having sex with 17 to 18-year-old kids, or calling people her children, or calling, X, Y, and Z. And so we now have that and want to hold.
I remember when she was such a big at Waffle House not too long ago.
Exactly. But I think a bigger conversation that we do have to have, because I do think that, and this isn't to side with anybody that's been on the toxic side of ballroom, but I think for me, as I've grown and I have more empathy for how all of us got to this place called ballroom, I understand too, and we talked about this on last week's episode, the difference between restorative justice and transformative justice, right? So the transformative side allows me to see the people that we need to hold accountable as also victims as well. And I think that's a larger conversation we need to have, is how do we hold them accountable without necessarily making them feel that all of their contributions were in vain? Right. So like last week they asked, Gunner, are you tainted? Let's say all the work that I've done, right? I probably would be defensive if somebody came back from my Escada days and was like, remember, Gunner did this, and all of a sudden, all of the work that I've done in ballroom is now painted as I'm now the summation of this one time that I did something that was very toxic. So I think that's a larger conversation we have to have, is what does accountability look like? Does it look like they can't come to balls anymore? Does it look like they got to step down from power? What is holding these people accountable for?
I can tell you what it looks like, because when you just said that, it made me think about something I was thinking about today while I was walking. I was like, everybody know if you're in ballroom, if you in the way, and everybody know the situation that, my situation with old boy, I was like, as I was walking, I was thinking about my house, and I was thinking about things that I teach them and certain stuff. And I was saying to myself, damn, I learned so much from this man. Like, I learned so much from him. This man protected me.
Me too.
This man has been there for me. This man is a great teacher and everything. He's,
Mm-hmm.
but what it is what it is. And so for me, him being held accountable, he has to hold his own self accountable. And that means to me saying, I'm sorry. That's it. That's all it takes.
Yeah. And the reason I bring it up is because I think for a lot of people on that receiving side of, my type of visceral rants and your type of visceral rants, and we're like calling this stuff out, it feels like an elimination or a cancellation. So they come in very defensively.
Mm-hmm.
When it's like, no, we're not saying that that's all of who you are.
Right.
What we are saying is you did cause this trauma, and for me personally to heal as a person, or the victim to heal as a person, and for the community to heal and break now generational curses, right? Because we're 4 or 5 generations solid into ballroom now, and some of these things are getting passed down now as generational curses would in any community. But if we want to break those curses, how do we break these curses? We first have to acknowledge that they exist. And that's been one of my problems with some of the leadership in ballroom, is that it's glossing over that it even exists. It's like, no, that didn't happen. Or no, it's like, yes, it did.
And I think it's like that because if they acknowledge it, then they have to put the same mirror on themselves.
Yeah.
And be like, damn, I can't say nothing about her because then somebody I can't agree or be like, I know what you're saying, because then somebody's gonna be like, but you.
Right.
So it's like
that's literally what happened. You guys remember my situation from this past summer. I literally had people in my inbox like, yeah, I know, but yeah, people think that about me too. And I'm already knowing that this has happened with that person too. And I'm like, but this is why you're not speaking out. Now you're both being prisoners to truth and truly doing what we say we're going to do as leaders in this community, right? Is protect it and build it up. And we're standing in our own way because we don't want to face our own demons. Going back to, like I said last week with Gillette, when she asked, was I tainted? What did I say, Gillette? If I've done something, I've implored people to come forward and say, hey, Gunner, you touched me in this way and it didn't feel right.
Right.
Instead of me saying, no, I didn't mean it like that. I apologize. I will correct that action and make sure I don't do it again. And I apologize for making you feel that way. And I apologize for my actions. It wasn't my intent, but obviously it was received that way. And that wasn't my intent. You know what I'm saying? And just owning that. And I think if we got to a place where we did that, right, that would start to break it up. But people feel so defensive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get drunk, at a ball, and I might be up in your ear, up in Chad's ear, saying some shit I ain't supposed to say. That doesn't mean that that's a totality of who I am. But if you approach me like, yo, Guns, the way that you approached me, the way that you approached Chad the other day, that wasn't cool, bro. I know you better than that. Let's be better than that. You know what, brother? You're right.
And another thing, I think some people just hate to be embarrassed. Like, that is like another thing. Like, I've been set on this high pedestal, and now I'm being embarrassed in front of everyone. Now I have to like break down and really like check myself and apologize. And there's nothing wrong with like having to really check yourself and saying like, I'm sorry because you hurt someone.
Right.
I used to be a person like, in my Capricorn ways, I used to not like to tell people I'm sorry, like, because I feel like, you did something to me. So therefore what I did to you, I don't have to apologize. But I have to realize, for every reaction, there's an action. So I have to like apologize so that person can move on and I can move on as well. So like the parts of being embarrassed, like get over that. Like, that's a weak character trait. Like, just take accountability for what you've done.
But it's also kind of the whole premise on what our community is based on is our image, right? It's who we are. It's the brand that we've built, the brand of me and who I am. I mean, going back to the situation that happened this past summer, prior to me even having my live, if you look at the timings of it, before I even went live with the information that I went live with, you can see the alleged accused already making posts saying, my image is everything to me. I will not let anyone take my image. Like, that's literally what they're saying. It's not about the sentiments. It's not about the feelings of the people involved, or how do we reconcile this? How do we learn from this as a community? It's all about, I would not allow my image to be tainted, because I've spent so long building up this persona and this bubble around myself, you know, and it kind of, and all this kind of ties in even to the conversation we were saying earlier about how people try to sneak this and be like, oh, you know, there's destiny. It's like, when you get ahead of who you are and you allow yourself to be fully human and flawed, you give other people that same space. But a lot of us in this community have spent years building up these perfect ideal images of who we think the world wants us to be, that a lot of us don't know who we are. You know, I was listening to a live the other day by a trans performer legend speaking about another trans performer legend, a trans woman, and just talking about how this person had never been on a date before or never been in relationships and all of this. But to the outside world, it's giving, you're a sex kid and everyone loves you. Of course, you're getting dates and stuff like that.
Right.
But you've not allowed yourself to be vulnerable enough to even come across as someone who would want love, because you give off this persona that I don't need it.
Right.
And being vulnerable in this community is something that's very hard, I think, as well, because like I said, I try to think about how we came to this community. And not everyone, especially now more and more, but especially from a certain generation, a lot of us come to ballroom out of already being in a vulnerable space.
That's what,
right. We've already been neglected and rejected. And so we come here vulnerable, building ourselves up out of that vulnerability and never wanting to feel that again. And so that builds these walls that then become hard to break down when we want to really start unpacking trauma and hold ourselves accountable, right? Because if hurt people, but I feel like just said, I feel justified in my hurt because for the last 15 years, this community has done me like this. So now I'm gonna woo. And it's like, but now you're just compacting the trauma. Well, I don't even know what else to ask you. I didn't even expect the interview to go here. I didn't even know that we wanted to go here, because you and I both know we've been on the forefront of this for quite some time about this predatory behavior in ballroom. And I didn't even want to open those worms. You know, my new thing is people die every day. I don't care no more.
We're supposed to have these conversations every chance that we get.
Yeah.
That's the only way we're gonna like.
So speaking of this conversation, it's in the same vein, but I want to just ask you what you think about this. This is another thing with this conversation that kind of cracks me up and makes me sad at the same time. We often hear, and you just said this earlier, you don't want to name names. We often hear name names, say their name, but then when you say their name, you're the bad guy. You're getting attacked. You're getting death threats in your inbox. My summer rant literally had people in my inbox saying they were going to fight me because I spoke out my nephew's brother.
And then you say names, and the people, you say names, and then they be like, "Oh shit!" And then 2 weeks later, they making a post like, "I love you," tagging the same person like, "I love you so much. You are this and you that." So it's like, what am I saying names for? You want to know the name because you're going to say, okay, I should stay away from this person, or this person is not this, or this person is that. Or do you want the name just so you can hear the name so you can gossip and say, girl, you heard he said this about Destiny, or he said this about Gillette, or he said this about Gunna. It's like, y'all don't want to know for real. You just want to be nosy so you can sip tea and spill it.
But it goes back to what we said too about holding people accountable, right? It depends on the adjacency we have to the people. We want to hear names until it's a name of a person that we care about.
I know, because I know if it was me, oh baby, they would hang me.
Baby, let me tell you, because I've been on my crusade to try to clean up and help heal ballroom, I be so on my P's and Q's now. Somebody try to talk to me and they even look like they're young. I'd be like, girl, this is a setup. Y'all trying to set me up. Stay on my inbox, little boy.
And you know, it's not even about the young and older for me.
Right.
It's about the power.
Yeah.
It's about you coming into my house. and you looking at me as as your father or your mother or your uncle, and I'm telling you, I'm depressed, I'm sad, and I'm giving you all of this. You know everything that's going on with me. And you're attracted to me, and you're trying to sleep with me.
And now you have this. You have this.
It's like you don't sleep with somebody that you're like. Shut up.
It's real aggressive in that house.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for me. That's where it's at. It's like the abuse of power, the abuse of trust, and all of that. Like the age, like I mean, it is the age if it's like underage, but like it's not so much of, oh, this is a 21-year-old, 20-year-old, 21, and this person is whatever. I don't care. It's about if that person, who are they to the dynamics of that. Why are you wanting to? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just thinking about all the people I slept with, and I ain't get no plat.
Look, I'm thinking about I ain't getting no plaque because I can still walk a ball and haven't slept with the judges panel. Okay. But no, and the reason I bring age into it, because like I said, like I think that there's an intersectionality happening here, right? Typically because status in ballroom comes after you've been around in ballroom for a while, right? Mm-hmm. So on top of that power, you are going to be someone with more lived experience, and you are going to be older. And so it's not age in isolation. It's age plus the power plus the influence, right? Like for instance, using myself as an example, ballroom legend, icon, fashion legend. I know that that's attracted to someone that's coming in from off the streets that probably has had barely a pot to piss in a window to throw it out. I know inviting them over to my house and letting them see my sneakers and shoes is going to make them want to give me the pussy right then and there. But I know that, and if I use that haphazardly, then that's an abuse of power. And in all communities, especially outside of ours, like especially in professional communities, you have this like breakdown of, if you're the CEO, you can't fraternize with a secretary. No matter how much the secretary might like you, there is a power dynamic here that breach cannot, that you can't breach that trust. Because as your employee, I should be able to come to you and complain about work and things like that, but I can't do that if you're also fucking me. Now it creates this issue and this tension. And I think going back to what we said about why people come to this community and why they find themselves here is they're usually looking for some sort of guidance, or they're coming out of traumatic experience, or they're looking for family. So the first people they start latching on to, oh, this is my gay brother, this is my gay uncle, this is my gay this, and you're calling them that. And then I'm falling asleep and I wake up and you're in the bed with me. And I'm like, wait, what's going on here? Right. And what compounds it even more for me is because we know we have so many people that come to our community from broken families, right? We repeat what we know. And a lot of people don't come from 2-parent household, loving families that let them live there till they were 18 and they can still talk to them and stuff like that. So we start to normalize these behaviors. Like in our community, it's normal to call somebody your brother or sister that you've been fucking with and might be still fucking with and have threesomes with and everything. But to me, that's weird. I would never have a threesome with my biological brother or my sister. So why am I having a threesome with my brother or sister in ballroom?
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. Is like a lot of times it's hard to even convince the broken that they're broken. Right? Because how many times in our community do we say like think about like whooping your children? And so many of us will be like, well, I turned out fine. And it's like, well, baby, actually, no, you didn't.
Right.
You didn't turn out fine.
Everybody think they're fine.
Everybody think they're fine because they're still alive and breathing. But it's like you have a lot of trauma that you need to unpack, and you didn't turn out fine.
And don't even realize that you have trauma.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the problem too. But yeah, no, this has been great. I don't know. What do I have another question? Oh God, I got the legendary Bugs on the line. And I
end up making this a part two because he hasn't even went over the ball yet.
Oh shit! Well, go ahead.
So yeah,
what's what happens when you get like a real legend? It's like so much knowledge that we gotta pull from you. It's so much we gotta make sure it's recorded and part of this history now.
I'm having a VA Take Me Back Part 6 with Coco Arici, who's the Virginia overseer, House of Arici. The ball will be on the 6th of November. That Friday we have a party with some. It's going to be dope. We have a performance from legendary Giselle, who's the mother of the House of Machiavelli. She's a dope artist, a dope R&B singer. She's really, really good. We have a performance from Hurricane, the legendary Hurricane from the House of West that night. He's a really, really good rapper. And it's gonna be lit. That's on Friday night. That's the pregame. Then Saturday is the ball. It's in Portsmouth, Virginia. We're giving away, a lot of money. The categories are dope. The categories aren't hard. I didn't want, legendary dress performance for $1,000. Femme Queen Sex Siren for $1,200. We have hand performance as a house for $500. We got all of the categories. The event page is up for everybody. $35 to get in. The first, I think 25. First 50 Femme Queens pay $25 to get in, I think.
That's cute.
The tables were $500. Each table was $500. The tables come with 2 to 3 bottles of liquor. 5 people get in free. It's gonna have platters, everything that the table's supposed to have. The space is really, really nice. We had it there last year. Nice floors. It's not going to be on the stage, but we are going to have the runway blocked off so people cannot crowd the runway in no way, shape, form, or fashion. The only way you can get on the runway is all the way from the back, and it's just going to be like a little entrance where you can get onto the runway.
Can we chop the members of the house if they house storm the floor? That'll make people stop storming the floor.
They won't be able to storm the floor.
Good.
Like they do. I like my balls to be like the energy. I want it to be good. I just want people to have fun. Like last year, it was really, really, really fun. The energy was fun from the beginning to the end. We gave out all our money. We had every single category. And this year we're gonna do the same thing. I feel like we won Ball of the Year last year. I feel like we can still win it this year. No shade to anybody who had balls, but I just feel like the energy means the most. So I would like to win Ball of the Year again. I like that. That meant a lot to me to win it last year. I was so hype about that. Like,
Congratulations.
Ball of the Year. So, but even if we don't, I just want to have a good ball, a successful ball. I want to complete everything, give out all of the money, give out all the categories. The trophies are really, really nice.
Do you have gift bags or anything for the judges? Any gift bags or anything for the judges?
Every person who has a table will be satisfied.
I ain't got no table. I'm talking about judging.
Listen, every person who has the tables will be satisfied, and the judges panel will definitely be satisfied. Y'all will have, yes, the judges panel, y'all will definitely be taken care of nicely.
Okay.
Well, I'm excited. This will be my second ball, really my first ball. My first ball in Virginia, I don't even remember. I was such a kitten and on those ecstasy pills. Back then we was doing the triple stacks and stuff. I don't really remember it. This is my first days. This is my first ball that I can remember in Virginia. I'm excited. I'm excited to support you, brother. I've been Team Pink Gorilla since I found out there was a Team 4.
Definitely.
So I'm so excited. 6 years, a 6-year series ball is an amazing feat. We don't have too many of those anymore where it's like a series and it continues. Mm-hmm. So I hope that people come out. I think that's a really good. You might be owning something with the discount for the Femme Queens. Because maybe when we started doing that at all major balls, like Femme Queens get in for $25 or something, I think the girls will start storming more.
It's important, I think that's very important because the balls is built off Femme Queens. And and just like at a club, I feel like the way people have balls, everybody just wants money. Like at the end of the day, I don't care. Everybody just want to get a bag, and that's cool. I understand it because we put a lot into it.
But you want to vibe.
Yeah, I want to vibe. You know, I don't mind that. I didn't mind. We could have charged. We could have charged $1,000 for a table, $800 for a table, but for what? $500 for a table. Plus, you get 5 people in free. When you go to a club and you buy a section, motherfuckers get in for free. Why the hell are we buying tables and nobody not getting in for free? That makes no motherfucking sense.
Right.
And I think people need to start saying something about that. I'm paying you $1,000 to get in here to get a table. Plus I got to pay $40, $50, $60 to get in the ball.
Baby, there was a ball. We paid $1,000 for the table and $60 for each one of our members to get into the VIP section. So by the time we got into the ball, we paid over $3,000 just to enter the ball.
That's no. People should be when you
literally
buy a section at a club.
$3,000 for a small house of tea sheet.
When you buy a section at the club, they at least get 5 to 6 people in, no less than 5 people. The more money it is, the more people that get in, and I feel like that's just how it should be. But I guess when people want to have balls at the Barclays Center, it gives I gotta charge all that I can charge because, bitch, I'm trying to be so grand.
You know, my theory on that is give me a YMCA with working some bottles of water and let my girls do their thing on the floor. That's all we care about. I've always said when people try to have these big venues, and I go back to the days of Escada, right? We were the first house to have a ball at the Fox in Atlanta. We had it there twice. And even dating back to then, it started this kind of like the ball was about the bragging rights. It wasn't really about giving the ball back for the community. So we had an event to go to, but it was like people say, oh, I gave one in Times Square. I gave one on Broadway and I gave one here. And it's like, but what do we lose in the ballroom experience when we have these venues where we can only have enough time to get, we know balls last 8 to 12 hours. So why are you getting this really expensive venue because it's fab, but they only giving it to you for 4 to 6 hours?
Yeah, because my ball definitely gonna finish. We got it for 48 hours.
So now you know what I'm saying? So now we suffer as a community for this pretty ball, but now everyone's still complaining because the ball didn't finish. And so what did you accomplish?
You missed the experience.
Look, like I said, give me a gymnasium. I called you. You said it was on the floor. I said perfect.
Yeah, my ball's at bingo hall.
See? As long as we got some AC. Oh, here's another request. I don't know if you've done it already, but I had made this request a while back. I was making requests now going to balls I go to. I think the cost of 20 waters at Costco is like $3 or $4. I think every table should come with 40 bottles of water. That's literally like $6.
Now that you said that, I didn't think about that, but we'll make that happen. And I'm also gonna have on the
more
table.
so than liquor, we need water at these tables because bitches be dehydrated and stuff.
I'm gonna make sure that we have bottles of water for the tables, definitely. And I'm also gonna have fentanyl testing strips on the tables
for the girls who do their things
because we can't. And you can't stop them from having it, so it's like, why not let them test it? So
harm reduction. Abstinence is not a lesson anymore. We do harm reduction around here.
Yeah.
But I want everyone to know that they heard it here first. So in 5 years, when 40 bottles of water at a table is a thing, I want you to know that it was the icon Gunna who pushed the narrative for 40 bottles of water at every table. It only costs you $10 to put 40 bottles of water at each table.
It doesn't cost that much.
I'm just saying on a high end.
And that's true because now that you think and I think about it, when people be battling, people be running around looking for waters to give to their house members and stuff because they need it. And that would be good to have water there, especially.
And again, it's a cheap. While we out here trying to figure out how we can, make magic happen to get liquor and stuff like that. You know what I mean? When we say magic, we try to. You could have just spent $10 on water. I can't tell you how many times I got into a ball and we've had liquor at the table and all that. But 3 hours into it, everybody dehydrated and we're over it. Now people are angry. Now that's when the fights happen because all we doing is drinking liquor straight up. Ain't no water in the venue. The air done went out or it done got hot because that's what black bodies do. We cause heat. And now dehydration becomes frustration. Frustration becomes violence. Now, you see what I'm saying? It's like it's an easy thing to try to mitigate by just having some bottles of water so people can stay, hydrated.
Thank you for that. I'm definitely gonna
team hydration
tomorrow.
Yes, team hydration. So this conversation can go like for hours and hours and hours. And my coffee cup is empty, and I left my other co-host in like the
green room.
I know she left them in a green room.
I know she ate up all the snacks. Morgan ate up all the snacks and fell asleep, but it's totally fine. Like, we're having a good time. We had great conversation here. We definitely appreciated our guest co-host, the overall godfather, Bugs Arichi. And please make sure November 6th that you are in Virginia, Portsmouth, Virginia.
Yes.
Yeah, Take Me Back Ball. This is the 6th series. It's the
gonna be dope, y'all. We're gonna have a great ballroom experience. Trust
me. If you're in New York and you need a ride, I'll be driving down. I might be able to take 1 or 2 people.
Oh,
now you gotta work. Now I might get down there and stay for a day or so. So you might have to worry about what you're gonna do as far as that. But I am renting like a Tahoe or a Suburban.
Ride?
And I'm driving down.
$60 round trip on the bus.
There you go.
$60 round trip.
So we don't want to hear you couldn't make it.
And VA is really cute. It's like right near Virginia Beach, and it's like really cute in the fall. The beach is like
it's a dope little vibe down there in the 757 area.
Yeah, I got an Ola date down there. I'm hoping I'll bump into that Friday on my tank. Okay, now just make sure you hit me up, and I definitely got a ride for you. And you already know that. Now be ready, because in the ride with me, we're gonna talk ballroom history, and we're gonna do all that kind of stuff. So it's gonna be, I'm an old school person.
He a Thai kind of hoe. He talking about some he a Thai kind of, because you said you were in the Thai hoe. He said he a Thai kind of hoe.
But no, Neff, just hit me up. I definitely got you. If you need a ride, I got you. Just have your little gas money, your little snack money, and we Gucci.
Yes. So once again, Bugs, we thank you so much for being our guest co-host.
Thank you for having me.
This was definitely such a great ass time. Sasha, I know we got one more thing to end up, honey, because Marcus Houston just came in with Marcus Houston being nasty.
What Marcus doing now, Sasha?
Go ahead, Marcus.
Oh, yes. Well, R&B singer from the music group Immature. You guys remember them from the 90s? IMX, Immature, the Chris Stokes situation. Well, unfortunately, congratulations to him getting married, but unfortunately, there's allegations, sexual allegations, saying that the daughter, Mia Reynolds, before he proposed to her this month, October 18th, 2021, it was stated from her parents that she was missing at age 14. She met Marcus Houston at age 16, 2018 on the Millennium Tour. So people are, making they're going crazy about it because the age
already her.
He's 38 years old and she's 19. So the parents want to know, the question is, where was she during 14, 15, because she ran away?
14, 15, 16, 17.
And he met her at 16, was stated. And then she's married, proposed to her on her birthday at 18.
So he groomed her.
Basically, that's what.
And then waited until she was legal to say, "Hey, we're legal," and it's
Allegedly, this is what is being said.
Oh wow, dear Marcus Houston. So,
how do you guys feel about that? About the industry?
I feel like he's an art print
of a black man.
The same
you
thing.
Said what? It's the industry taking down a black man.
No, I don't think it's the industry taking down a black man. It's just another sex scandal concerning a black man.
I mean, it ain't like sex scandals.
I mean, it's not like it's
black men.
Kind of colorism, but it's like everybody's still dealing with the R. Kelly case, and then it's like, okay, now we got Marcus Houston, so it's like, but there's no rape allegations. People are just saying, the age gap difference. Where was she at 14, from 15 to 16, because she disappeared? So it's like a parent is asking, how can my daughter be gone for this many years, and then now
I'm alleging rape.
If you were a parent,
this goes back to kidnapping. this goes back to how does justice look like, and how do we transition from an old world way of thinking to a new world way, right? Because we often hear, well, back in the day, X, Y, and Z. We as back in the day, I get that, but we as a society have grown out of some of those traditional thoughts, and we no longer think it's okay for a 40-year-old to be sexing off on a 17, 18-year-old, right? And so it's like, what does accountability look like for him? Do we sum him up as a predator, a rapist, someone who, just took advantage of this young girl, regardless of how she felt about it? Like, how do we deal with this as a community?
But he did this to Quindon.
Well, it's not Chris Stokes. It was
Marcus Houston. Was a part of it also.
But there was allegations as well with the Quindon situation. Rest in peace to Quindon.
Right.
That was a very heavy. It's a lot of shit around that whole thing.
It goes back to what Gunna said: the hurt people.
Yes.
Right.
Marcus Houston was,
sex trafficked as a child
by Chris Stokes and all of that,
mm-hmm.
and that's it's so unfortunate because it be like part of you want to be like, you don't mean it, but then the other part is like, but it's just not fucking right.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep asking the question, what does justice look like in this situation, right? Because again, if the young lady still is marrying him today, and maybe it's Stockholm Syndrome, maybe it's not. So maybe in this instance, we don't seek restorative justice, right? Which is justice for the victim, because maybe she doesn't see herself as a victim. Mm-hmm. But there is some transformative justice that still needs to happen, because we know that this behavior that he's exhibiting probably ties into his situation of him being sex trafficked as a child, right? So transformative justice is, how do we address the systems and the history and the behaviors and societal behaviors that attribute to these type of situations happening between individuals? Right, because there's a whole system in play that creates an R. Kelly. There's a whole system in play that creates a Marcus Houston, right? He's not out here by him lonesome finding some random girl. He's using his star power. He's being surrounded by people who know
and
they
he was
see him.
Introduced to the girl by
the men around him and the women and the people on his team, and all these people see this 15, 16-year-old around you every day. Mm-hmm. So what are they doing or not doing that adds or subtracts from the situation, right? So there's a whole system in play when these types of things happen in these situations. And then going back to what Buck said, you add in the power. Yes, this young lady might feel that she sought him out, wanted to date him, X, Y, and Z. But if we hold power in play, we also know that part of that infatuation comes from the fact of who he is. And he allowed who he was to play on her and for her to feel like she was in power, right? I could easily, like we were saying about power, we could easily, me and Bums, Gillette, elders in the community, allow a young person to think that...
Don't do me like that.
We could allow a young person to think that they have the upper hand, right? Because I can give a nigga some shoes. I know he's gonna be like, girl, I was over at Gunna house, Gunna. I had that boy buy me shoes, but in my head, I'm thinking, girl, you was $125 fuck. But I'm allowing him to think that he has power in the situation. He's telling his girlfriends, bitch, I'm gonna buy me dinner on Fridays and smoke me out. But really, I know that was cheap, right? So in these situations, he's allowing her to be like, no, she's pursuing me. But really, why she's pursuing
you.
Because he's abusing his power by the celebrity.
Mm-hmm. And that's my issue in a lot of these situations, that a lot of people fail to realize. They will say yes, but they were being pursued. But that person that was being pursued knows part of the foundational reasons why they were being pursued, and they allowed that game to play out. It's like a teacher. We know that there's an infatuation with students and teachers. That's just a natural thing. As you're going through puberty, you're surrounded by male teachers, female teachers, whatever. Is it the student's fault for going through puberty and being attracted to the teacher, or is it the teacher's responsibility to know that I'm going to have students that are going to be attracted to me, but I need to maintain this boundary at all times?
It's definitely the teacher.
It's his responsibility as a 38-year-old man to know at 38 years old, I know that 16, 17, 18-year-olds are going to be attracted to me. It's my responsibility at 38 to make sure that that boundary never gets crossed. Not theirs. It's not their responsibility to make sure it doesn't get crossed. And that's where he should be held accountable, because he allowed a boundary to be crossed that he shouldn't have at 36, right? Because she's 19, so
yeah. So I
probably
guess when
34.
he met her at 16, he was 33 in 2018. Because if he's 38 now, and that was 2000.
Do we know that he met her at 16?
It was stated saying that he met her.
I think there's pictures of them when she's underage.
Chris Stokes said he introduced him to her at age 16, and it was given, big fan where she was a fan, and brought her backstage and got to know the people. But the mother said that she's been missing since age 14. Yep. So she's recently just now seeing her daughter of this year of her being missing from 14, 15, 16. It's a whole gap.
And now she married, pop-up married to.
And now she's married.
Marcus Houston.
And we're supposed to believe that y'all didn't start dating until after she was
until last week.
Gag, that was last week.
These people are crazy, yo.
So what I'm gonna have you do, Sasha, I'm gonna have you do like some more research on it, and we'll talk.
Yeah, I'll do some more research on it and get back with you guys. It's a very deep topic, but I guess the question of the day is: do you think that Maya's a victim, or?
It's kind of like what's going on in Florida with the I don't know if y'all heard about it, but the man just married this girl. The man is 50.
The Godfather, right?
The
53. The girl is 18, but he's her godfather.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
He got pictures with her when she was a baby. He was one of the mama's tricks. All of that, and now he's married to her, and she's all on social media. She was like, "Y'all calling him a predator? Well, if he is a predator, he my predator."
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're gonna be covering that. Definitely covering that on Sunday.
Come on, Bugs, for bringing the hot topic to the show.
Okay.
Yes, we're definitely gonna be covering that Sunday. We gotta make sure that we have all our ducats and research in a row, so we'll cover that on Sunday. That was something that I was looking into, but I wanted to make sure proper research was done. So. We have some homework to do.
We do.
This has been like really, really great. I've seen all of us do like a slight little rub of the eye. My earring.
Little Bugs, I'm a little older, so it's about time my Johns and my nap.
Look, I'm over here yawning and everything.
This is really, really great. I definitely appreciate everyone for coming and having tea with me. We will be back, everyone, on Sunday, once again at 9 p.m. Thanks, Bugs, again for being our co-host.
Thanks for having me, y'all. I really appreciate it.
Yes,
it was
thank
fun.
you, Nada, for coming up and giving us the recap of your ball. Congratulations to Lala and Vixen for winning $1,000 in Trenton, New Jersey. And Butter has another ball coming up in December 17th. Make sure you're there. He loves giving out thousands, girls. And also, thank you to Malik Miyaki Mugler for coming and just gracing us with a great interview and letting us know what's happening with him next. So we'll see you all on Sunday. If all hearts and mind are clear, we love you. And on Wednesday, we're what? Hey.
Don't forget, on Sunday, we will be reviewing the ball that's happening in Baltimore.
Yes. Oh, once again, I'm so sorry. Yes.
Monique.
Right before you go to VA, make a stop in Baltimore, October the 30th. I think it's the massacre. The Hollow Eve massacre ball. The icon Monique, Sebastian, and Marco West will be throwing their ball. It's in Baltimore. So please go out and support them. Once again, that is in Baltimore, October 30th. That is the Hollow Eve massacre ball. The icon Monique, Sebastian, and Marco will be throwing that ball. And then November 6th is the overall Godfather and VA Overseer, VA Take Me Back ball, or Richie. You know the way. So I'm out.
If y'all want to go down, I also have a Tahoe.
There's a Tahoe, and Dickie got a spot already.
No, I'm saying for this weekend as well. If y'all want to go to Baltimore.
Oh, really, Gunna?
Yeah.
I can only be seen.
Okay. Sasha, let me know, Bubs. Let me know if y'all want to go. You and Chad want to go. I got a truck reserved. I'm gonna
what
get up
day
Saturday.
is that ball?
It's Saturday, so I'm gonna get up Saturday. I'm gonna go to the gym, and if like there's several people from New York that want to go, I might meet y'all at a.
I gotta be to work I got to be to work 6 in the morning Sunday. If you come back and I can get to work, I'll go.
I mean, we can. I mean, it's a 3-hour drive, so we can. I didn't plan on staying. I was gonna turn around and come right back, but I don't know. You know, well, Tom.
I'm gonna hit you up.
Okay.
I'll hit you up.
I'm not dealing with you now.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much, Sasha. Thank you so much. You was such a love tonight.
Thank you, Ghana. Thank you, Ma. Thank you,
Thank you.
And thank you, Morgan. She had the dash. She ate up all the snacks in the green room, so she's out. We'll see you guys on Sunday. We'll see you all on Sunday. We just talked about
right.
Yes, we will.
We'll see you all on Sunday. Have a good night.
All right, good night.